Part 8. After guarding the abyss for a billion years, when he returned, his family became a criminal clan. Author, Top 47. Chapter 72. Buzz. Meng Zhan didn't even talk nonsense to these people. Wisps of bloody divine power from the 10 directions of purgatory emerged from his body, as if he turned into little bloody snakes one after another. Go ahead. With a wave of his hand, these divine powers disappeared into the time and space of heaven and earth. Somewhere, an immortal god and demon had just stepped out of the void. His face was already pale, tears flowed out, and he closed his eyes. The ancestral land of their Yang family must also finished. Mongolian War. Just wait, one day our Yang family will come back. Walk. The immortal god and demon opened his eyes again, and his eyes had become extremely cold, with deep hatred and murderous intent. With a wave of his hand, he was about to use his magical power to continue to escape. Suddenly, there were wisps of void in the void behind him. Bloody divine power emerged, like countless little blood-colored snakes. They looked extremely ferocious and lifelike, but without any breath. Whoosh! In an instant, these divine powers had been integrated into the body of this immortal god and demon. A ray of divine power remained in him. Inside his body, the remaining divine power penetrated into his divine realm. The countless people of the Yang family who were swept away by him were all integrated into it by the divine power. Ah! The magical power suddenly collapsed, and the immortal god and demon fell directly to the earth from the void, screaming in agony, and the ray of divine power in his body was constantly biting his body and soul. The severe pain made his body instant convulsion. He couldn't help but roll on the ground. And in his divine domain, the countless people of the Yang family were the same. Someone discovered his screams, but when they came over, they found that it was an immortal god and demon who was screaming, and they were frightened. They dare not approach. This situation happens in many places. Those immortal gods and demons of the Yang family and the gods and demons of the Hunyuan realm who want to escape with people are all targeted by the divine power of the 10 directions purgatory. Wait until the divine power is integrated into the divine body. When their souls were lost, escaping became their nightmare. Ah, Meng Zhan, spare me, spare me. Who can kill me, please? No, 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 it hurts, it hurts. A series of shrill screams resounded across the land in all directions. These screams fell on the ears of the gods and demons, and they all froze. Looking around, it seemed that there were screams coming from them. This situation scares some people to the point of peeing. At this moment, if someone can look at the entire human territory, they will find that after leaving Renhuang City, Donghuangdi Yi, Xianyuan Moxiu and Yingtianhu, Xiongzhantian and others, one after another, the forces of gods and demons have begun to bloom more and more on the land of the human race. The killings have begun to sweep across the entire land of the human race. Countless immortal families, gods and demon families are terrified, and even many families they are fleeing. However, where can they escape to? The Jedi. They have said it is the Jedi. Is that something everyone can escape into? That sea of demons. The guys in there are no different to the human race than the human race is to them. Enter if they are discovered, the consequences will be even worse, annihilation. What about staying within the territory of the human race? Looking around, they seem to be able to hear the sounds of killing, screams, and begging for mercy. The sounds surround their ears. They are all stunned. Escape. Where to escape? The Ao family, the Yu family, the Lin family, the Yang family, and 6 more families. Meng Zhan Dao body left the ancestral land of the Yang family, but did not take action again. Instead, he looked at the situation in all directions with the help of the human luck golden dragon. After Xianyuan Moxiu killed several immortal families, he led people to the palace. The family was killed. Although some people had escaped early like the Yang family, most of the Gong family fell into the hands of Xianyu and Moxiu. After Xiong Zhantian slaughtered some families in the ancestral land of the Xiong family in the past, he also came arriving at the land of the Shi Laoding family. Looking at the sacred cities in front of me, my eyes were filled with murderous intent. Kill. Destroy the city and kill it. This Shi Laoding family, after seeing that only Xiong Zhantian was coming to kill them, they immediately breathed a sigh of relief and became arrogant again. Immortal gods and demons one after another, as well as countless gods and demons from all over the clan gathered. In turn, Xiong Zhantian others gathered around. Kill him. Since Meng Zhan doesn't want us to live, then before leaving, kill him alone and leave him some gifts. Xiong Zhantian looked at the dense crowds of gods and demons coming to kill him, but he grinned and murmured, I haven't killed like this in a long time. A bloody battle. This battle lasted for a long time, because Xiong Zhantian teamed up with a few living puppets to kill the immortal gods and demons, and then did not take action again. Let the group of gods and demons fight. Who can survive, who can? If you have the last laugh, you will be qualified to join the demon-suppressing army. One by one, the families of the Ten Laoding, the Changsheng family, and the God-Devil family were eliminated. The earth was dyed red with blood. Meng Zhan could clearly feel the blood-evil aura among the human race. It is continuing to skyrocket, and this situation will continue for a long time. It is definitely not easy to clean up the huge territory of the human race. Meng Zhan's eyes fell on the place where the human race and the abyss demon race were fighting. There was a strong aura of demonic energy surging in that area. It was like a dark cloud covering the sky, exuding an oppressive aura of demonic power. This time he took action. After wiping out the Yu family and other 10 old families in the 10 old courtyard, the Eastern Emperor and his group have begun to clean up various immortal families and gods and demon families in all directions of the human race. The entire human race has long been in chaos. In such a situation, under such circumstances, naturally no one can feel at ease to contend with the Abyss Demon clan and fight with the Abyss Demon clan. No, under Meng Zhan's perception, hundreds of millions of Abyss Demon clan and monsters have now broken through the areas where they previously fought with the human race, and started to kill forward. Although Meng Zhan could easily deal with the Abyss Demon clan, Meng Zhan looked at it and had no idea of taking action immediately. Because of the obstruction of Shi Laoding, the Abyss Demon clan did not sweep too far into the human territory. It ravaged less than 100% of the territory. Such movement is not enough for everyone to remember this time. It is not enough for the current human race to clearly understand what the Abyss Demon clan is. However, Meng Zhan watched. Suddenly raised his eyebrows, he saw some gods and demons gathering these people together, and it seemed that they were still resisting the Abyss demons. However, not long after, that group of people felt a little familiar to a certain aura. The Holy Lord of the Abyss was swallowed up. Again and again. Then he looked elsewhere. Under the perception of Meng Zhan's divine consciousness, the auras of several powerful Holy Lords hidden in the entire Abyss Demon clan were clearly visible and could not be hidden. And carefully observe these hidden, the Holy Lord of the Abyss Demon clan can also discover that someone is gathering human gods and demons for them, and then devouring them. The blood of the Yuan family. The gods and demons of the Yuan family. Meng Zhan closed his eyes, holding back the anger welling up in his heart. This is still one of the 10 families in the human race's dignified Shi Laoding. When he came back that day, some said that he had colluded with the Abyss Demon clan. Now, they themselves have chosen to become traitors to the human race. Call. Let you just tolerate this for a while. Meng Zhan disappeared. At the same time, he also persuaded Emperor Deng Ai, who went to Yuan's family. Since the Yuan family chose to collude with the Abyss Demon clan, there is no need to take action now. The 10 old families of the 10 Laoding were wiped out one after another, and even those who remained in the 4 corners of the human race's territory were all hiding and did not dare to appear again. Such a situation. All the forces of Shi Laoding fell apart and ceased to exist. The killings don't stop. The blood is still staining the earth red. Emperor Dong Ai and the others walked around the land of the human race. Everywhere they went, rivers of blood flowed there, and not even a single person could survive. On the other side, with the collusion of the Yuan family, the abyss demons easily captured countless human gods and demons and devoured them. The strength of many abyssal demons has improved under such circumstances. Countless abyssal monsters are attacking more and more human territories and territories. Countless people are in fear and despair. Some people, in desperate situations, want to surrender to the abyssal demons and become their dogs. It's just that they are not the Yuan family, and the abyss demon clan still looks down on such a weak dog. Even as food rations. Human nature is clearly visible in the face of such things. Soon, after the cleanup, there will be no need for the abyss demon clan to exist. Meng Zhan accompanied Teng Qianqian, but he did not take action. Only Teng Qianqian took action and blood-bathed all the Changsheng family and the god and demon family on the land of the Teng family. Meng Zhan's main focus was on all over the human land. The hidden place of Jin Ji family. A place completely isolated from the outside world. Ah! Fight! Yang Zong roared angrily. He carried many human soul tags with him, but he had just arrived at the secluded place of the Jin Ji family. Those soul tags had all been shattered. The Yang family members were gone. Not far away. Several people from Jingao came out and watched Yang Zong roaring, but did not stop him. The Yang family was destroyed by Meng Zhan. This was what they had expected when they felt Meng Zhan's strength. But to be honest, whether the Yang family has been destroyed or not, there is really no feeling in the hearts of a few people. This has nothing to do with the Jin Ji family. Considering that the Yang family helped them snatch that thing in the past, they can asking Yang Zong to come here and bring 100 family disciples was already breaking the rules. Looking at Yang Zong, who was still venting his emotions, Jin Gao turned around and walked towards the family ancestral hall with a few people. While walking, Jin Gao recalled the experience of meeting Meng Zhan. Meng Zhan is undoubtedly a primitive god and demon. But he seems to rely heavily on the human luck golden dragon and the power of the human imperial city. From the moment we appeared to the time we met him, he suppressed us with the power of the human race's luck golden dragon and the human emperor city. The final kill also used the power of the human imperial city. Jin Gao pondered in his heart. Thinking back on it, he felt that Meng Zhan's strength was somewhat special. Could it be that he was able to break through the original gods and demons because of the help of the human race's luck golden dragon and the human imperial city? So if we leave the power of the human race's luck golden dragon and the power of the human imperial city, what will happen to Meng Zhan's strength? It should only be the initial strength of ordinary primitive gods and demons. Jin Gao made an inference in his mind. It didn't take long. Several of them met the elder of the Jin Ji family who stayed in the world of gods and demons. He was also a god and demon who forcibly broke through the realm of primitive gods and demons. Compared with ordinary primitive gods and demons, they were stronger. Far worse. In fact, there are quite a few such people. In order to break through the original gods and demons, many people chose to fight. If you don't succeed, you will be benevolent. The original gods and demons relied on the luck of the human race, the golden dragon and the power of the imperial city. After hearing this, the elder Jin Ji pondered for a long time. No matter what, a true primitive god and demon must be dealt with by an existence of the same level of cultivation. For this matter, we need to contact the other 3 companies. See what they are going to do, and then decide whether to contact the ancestors and ask them to come back. The elder was only talking about the other 3 families, not the other 5 families. No one in Jinj Valley was surprised by this. The Qinjiao family and the Zhou family have been special since ancient times. After going to the Xinwu heavenly realm, they became even more special. It was the Jew clan who entered it and completely separated from them. Where the two families have gone now, whether they are dead or alive, the remaining four families do not know. Just like the human emperor and the human emperor clan in the past, they are also missing. Soon afterwards, the Jinji family contacted the Taoan family, the Huayan family, and the Xinjiang family, and also learned that among several families, the previous 10 old families in the 10 old courts had been wiped out one by Mengjian. Regarding this, the four families all attached great importance to an existence that was close to the ancient emperor. But in the eyes of the four families, a person in the early stage of the primitive realm of gods and demons was not much of a threat. After guarding the abyss for 1 billion years, when he returned, his family became a criminal clan. Author, Top 47. Chapter 73. Outside. Somewhere in the human race, countless abyssal demons and monsters are frantically attacking the human land, and there are also countless human gods and demons who are fleeing madly with their tribesmen. Their destination is only one. That is the central area of the human race, the human imperial city. Only by going to the human imperial city can you possibly survive. Unless Na Mengjian refused to save them and even raised a butcher's knife against them. But do they have a choice? No. Run away. Abyss Demon Clan, sooner or later the god and demon Gu, will rush into the abyss, slaughter you all, and avenge your clan. Wu, Shi Laoding is over. Mengjian, who calls himself the human emperor, is massacring the people of Shi Laoding again. If we go, can we survive? Wrong. We are all wrong, we should not despise the abyss. Perhaps if it were not for the guard of Mengjian, this group of abyssal demons would have rushed out hundreds of millions of years ago. Who asked Shi Laoding to withdraw from the demon-suppressing city? So self-righteous. Alas, everything is too late. Now the Abyss Demon clan has rushed out and has occupied so much territory of our human race. How easy is it to suppress them again? Countless fleeing gods and demons looked pale and did not dare to stay at all. They tried their best to escape in the direction of the human imperial city. Che Li was hiding somewhere in the void, watching these gods and demons heading towards the human imperial city without stopping them or speaking. Because he knows that even if these people go to the human imperial city, not many of them can survive. That person has already said that he will bloodbath the human race in this world. Now this bloodbath has just begun. Abyss Demon Clan. Che Li looked at the demons chasing them from a distance, his eyes full of murderous intent, but when he saw some human gods and demons from the Abyss Demons, there was a look of astonishment in his eyes. And in the following time, he also saw the immortal gods and demons of the Yuan family appear and win over a group of fleeing gods and demons. Then, he took them to the mouth of a powerful Abyss Demon. Che Li was hit in the head. The anger in his heart was beyond words. He never imagined that the gods and demons of the Yuan family, one of the former Shilaoding families, would actually collude with the Abyss Demon clan. They even worked for the Abyss Demon clan to murder the gods and demons of the human race. Ha ha ha. Che Li smiled. Tears flowed from his eyes. The hatred he originally felt for Mengjian seemed to fall apart in an instant, and he felt a little empty. Their Che family was killed by the Abyss Demon clan, and countless members of the family were killed. He used to be incomparable. Hatred Mengjian. Blame him for releasing the Abyss Demon clan. Blame Mengjian for causing trouble to the human race, causing the human race to be unable to concentrate on dealing with the Abyss Demon clan. But now, when Che Li looked at the gods and demons of the Yuan family, who were concentrating on gathering human gods and demons for the Abyss Demons, and then feeding them, he felt that these scenes were extremely ironic. Returning from the Mongolian War, he once said that he had guarded the abyss for the human race for 1 billion years. However, in the eyes of the human race, he is just a criminal remnant of the human race, he deserves to die. What's more, Why does the majestic human race need the protection of a remnant of the sinful race? It is also said that he is a dog thief who colludes with the Abyss demon clan. Che Li said this and looked at the group of Yuan family gods and demons who were connected with the Abyss demon clan. He puffed and knelt down in the direction of the human emperor city. Mengjian, at this moment I, Che Li, respect you for protecting the human race for 1 billion years, and respect you as the new human emperor of the human race. However, my car was at the wrong distance. I will spread the news about the Yuan family throughout the world, so that people in the world can clearly see the face of this Xiaoting family. As for my life, I just need to atone for my past mistakes. After saying that, Che Li kowtowed 3 times in the direction of the human emperor city, then stood up and passed the news about the Yuan family to some of the gods and demon families who were still in contact. After passing it out, Che Li looked at the endless abyss demons were charging towards the center of the human territory. Whoosh! He was hiding in the space, rushing in with 1 person and 1 blade. No one knew about this except Mengjian, who had been paying attention to the human land. However, the news that the Yuan family colluded with the Abyss Demon clan and even tricked the murderous gods and demons for the Abyss Demon clan instantly shocked countless gods and demon families and the Changsheng family. Many gods and demons were stunned when they heard this. Lost. How can it be? The Yuan family colluded with the Abyss Demon clan, and the gods and demons of the human race and the Abyss Demon clan collapsed so quickly, and so many people died, because the Yuan family colluded with the Abyss Demon clan and trapped all the human gods and demons. Killed. Yuan family, are you worthy of the human race? Ha ha ha. Ridiculous, sad, this is the 10-old family of the 10 Laoding family. They also said that Mengjian colluded with the Abyss Demon clan, but in the end, they did it themselves. Countless people collapsed when they heard the news. Some were extremely angry, while others laughed and shed tears. Others looked at the gods and demons of the Yuan family in front of them, who were taking them and others to the so-called safe place. Household demon. For a moment, my hair stood on end. Damn. A safe place? It's the belly of the Abyss demon, right? Boom. Hum you to death. Hundreds of gods and demons all started in unison in an instant and knocked the gods and demons of the Yuan family to the ground. They beat them half to death before searching the soul of 1 person. From this person's memory, he really discovered the Yuan family. They have colluded with the Abyss Demon clan and have been colluding for a long time. They have already trapped and killed hundreds of millions of human gods and demons. And the number of human beings they have trapped and killed is even more numerous. Damn it! Yuan family, you will be cut to pieces sooner or later. Kill. Countless gods and demons were so angry that they took action. Afterwards, their backs were soaked with cold sweat and they were full of fear. The Yuan family, who had not discovered this, were killed by angry people in an instant. When the Yuan family knew this after the incident, they no longer hid, and directly joined forces with the Abyss Demon clan to kill the clans of the God Demon clan and the Changsheng clan. If you don't want to die, it's better to surrender. At least with my Yuan family here, you will not be wiped out by the Abyss Demon clan and the Manchu people will be able to save some seeds and pass them on. The Yuan family began to persuade some Changsheng families to surrender. Mengjian saw these things. As Emperor Dong and others attacked Shi Laoding, they killed many powerful families in Shi Laoding. Now the human aura in his body not only has the luck golden dragon not weakened, but it has become much stronger. With the help of the human race's luck golden dragon, he can monitor a larger area. There is the Changsheng family, who quietly chooses to follow the Yuan family, colludes with the Abyss Demon clan, and then repeats the operations of the Yuan family. Mengjian also knew about these things, but he ignored them. The territory of the human race was very large. If the Abyss Demon clan wanted to ravage half of the territory of the human race, it would take at least thousands of years. It will also take a long time for Emperor Deng Ai and the others to clear out the people in Shi Laoding. Wait. Meng Zhan went to Tenkinkin's side, and then returned to Human Emperor City to continue practicing in seclusion. He needed to use his strength to ascend to the peak of the primitive gods and demons as soon as possible. At that time, you may be able to find out where those ancient tribes are. Find them out and kill them. As time goes by, the gods and demons are impacted by the abyss demons and wreak havoc. Nearly 1,000 years have passed. Within the human race, the Eastern Emperor and others have gradually taken control of various places. Most of the people who should be killed have been killed. The remaining ones have gone into hiding, or have fled to the Jedi. If you want to solve places like the Tianyao Sea, it will take time, so you can only do it slowly. However, except for the area under the control of the Eastern Emperor and the others, on the other side, the Yuan family has attracted many families who were once Shi Laoding. They all surrendered to the Yuan family, colluded with the Abyss Demon clan, and became the slaves of the Abyss Demon clan. No, they were worse than slaves. They were just the food stored by the Abyss Demon clan. They grew and harvested the food. But the Yuan family has the support of these people, but they also call themselves the elders of the human race. Only by serving them can they survive under the great Abyss Demon clan. Only the Yuan family can protect the human race. In this regard, Emperor Dong won. Xiong Zhantian and others didn't care about them. If anyone wants to join forces and collude with the Abyss Demons, just go there. When the time comes, they will be dealt with in one wave. It's best to let them become arrogant first. Human Imperial City. Meng Zhan woke up from his sleep retreat. This may be the longest sleep retreat he has ever had. Because in the abyss before, it was almost impossible for him to have such a long time to spare. Almost every once in a while, some little monsters would bother him, not because they wanted to break through the barrier, but simply because they wanted to disturb him, otherwise he would retreat. However, it is a pity that the improvement of his strength during the battle was not achieved through seclusion. Thousands of years have passed, and the turmoil outside has almost passed. Meng Zhan opened his eyes, and wisps of divine light appeared in his eyes. In his eyes, it was as if the entire human land was manifesting under his eyes, down to every particle of dust, and as large as the endless mountains and rivers of the entire human territory. With the Taoist presence, outside, he was well aware of the changes in the human race's territory. He took a look at the god and demon points accumulated over the years. God and demon points, 262.57 billion god and demon points. First, improve your cultivation level. With a thought in Meng Zhan's mind, the original realm of the late stage of the primitive gods and demons was instantly raised to the peak of the primitive gods and demons. The peak of the primitive gods and demons, 68.8 billion gods and demons points rightward arrow 9 tribulations of gods and demons. Boom. His divine body once again turned into hazy light points and floated around the world. It was as if he had returned to the heaven and earth. Meng Zhan felt the feeling of the peak of the primitive realm of gods and demons. He became more and more harmonious with the power of this world, and there was a sense of the subtle feeling that I am a part of this world. According to rumors, the ancient emperor always has unpredictable power in front of others. Every move can trigger the might of God to descend. Such rumors are completely consistent with the power of the original gods and demons. Meng Zhan was amazed in his heart, and then he looked at his remaining god and demon points. There were still more than 220 billion points, which was enough to improve his realm again. But just when Meng Zhan wanted to improve, he was confused. Thriller. 9 calamities. If you want to advance, you have to endure the catastrophe of gods and demons in the first level. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After guarding the abyss for 1 billion years, when he returned, his family became a criminal clan. Author, Top 47. Chapter 74. With the capabilities of the system, if there are enough divine and demonic points, it is impossible to fail in improving the level of cultivation. Even in this 9 tribulations God and demon realm, it can still be improved. Only when Mengjian wanted to improve, he had a warning sign in his heart. This warning sign came from the world of gods and demons, which made him instinctively feel terrified. If he wants to improve, that's no problem. However, the current limit of cultivation in the world of gods and demons is the primitive realm of gods and demons. If there are original gods and demons who are going through tribulations in the gods and demons, they want to be promoted to the 9 tribulations of gods and demons. Then this will be a great threat to the world of gods and demons. It cannot be promoted within the realm of gods and demons. Mengjian immediately thought of 2 places. One was the broken stone that was found in the ancestral treasury of the human emperor clan and contained the power of other time and space. The other one was where those ancient clans went. Xinhuatianja. Then wait a moment. Once you find the places of those ancient tribes, you can naturally go to Xinhuatianja. I wonder if the ancient human emperor and the human emperor clan disappeared because of this. Mengjian shook his head and focused on the 2 exercises and magical powers. Kung Fu, 200 level divine and demon suppression power, 2.82 billion divine and demon points rightward arrow 201 level, 136 level Taijin Hunyuan Sutra, 910 million divine and demon points rightward arrow 137 level. Supernatural powers, 10 directions purgatory, original god and demon level is perfect, 1.44 billion god and demon points rightward arrow 9 tribulation god and demon level, Tyrannosaurus Tianchu, original god and demon level is perfect, 1.49 billion god and demon points rightward arrow 9 tribulation god and demon level, time and space gate, complete immortal god and demon level, 8.4 billion god and demon points rightward arrow original god and demon level, immortal heavenly puppet, entry to the original god and demon level. 1.09 billion god and demon points rightward arrow small success. With a thought in his mind, he first increased the divine and demonic prison suppressing power by 5 levels. The divine and demonic prison suppressing power is 205 heavy, 3.62 billion divine and demonic points rightward arrow 206 heavy. Boom. The most obvious change in improving the god and demon prison suppressing strength technique is Mengjian's body. Endless shackles are born in every cell. And under the layers of blockade, countless cells are filled with a purgatory-like atmosphere. And this aura is getting more and more terrifying. When Mengjian activates the divine and demonic prison suppressing power, every shackle in the cell will be unlocked. With the 205 weight divine and demonic prison suppressing power, Mengjian clenched his fist slightly as the original divine power in his body was operating. If it were really unleashed with all its strength, the power of this punch would probably be able to defeat an enemy who is also at the peak of the primitive god demonic realm, or it could defeat oneself who does not use powerful magical powers. Taijin Hunyuanjing, upgraded to 150 levels. Mengjian's eyes fell on another skill, which is the clan-suppressing skill of their Meng family. Taijin Hunyuan Sutra 150th level, 1.33 billion god and demon points rightward arrow 151st level. This skill has improved. What is more important is that Mengjian controls the power of Hunyuan, which is like a force field. He can easily manipulate the power of the force field to tear apart the enemies in it. So Mengjian sat cross-legged, and in a thought. The world around him seemed to be suffering from what kind of disaster happened, and countless space cracks were torn apart. The space became twisted. Both 10 directions purgatory and tyrant dragon Tianxia have been upgraded to the 9 tribulations god and demon level. Should they be fine, Mengjian gives it a try. First upgrade the purgatory of 10 directions to the entry level of 9 tribulations gods and demons. The purgatory of 10 directions, entrance level of 9 tribulations gods and demons, 1.88 billion gods and demons points rightward arrow small success. Buzz. Mengjian's mind was buzzing, and in a trance, he descended into a sea of Wang Yang's blood. The visions in the world around him were shocking. What he felt was the power of blood, and blood can also have life. Roar. At this time, one bloody hand after another grabbed Mengjian from the sea of blood, grabbed Mengjian's whole body, and instantly dragged Mengjian into the sea of blood. This is the first calamity to improve the supernatural power of the 10 directions purgatory. Magical powers also have calamities. It's just that the movement is not as big as breaking through the realm of cultivation. Reality. Endless blood spread around Mengjian, gradually forming a virtual sea of blood, and the sound of waves appeared. Visions followed Mengjian in all the tribulations have permeated the entire ancestral land of the human emperor clan. It was not until the violence of Mengjian shattered the sea of blood in the 10 directions purgatory, and all the bloody hands disappeared, that the vision that shrouded the ancestral land of the human emperor clan disappeared. However, when Mengjian opened his eyes, the ancestral land of the human emperor clan, which was originally like a fairyland, together with the countless temples, seemed to have been eroded by something. It became blood red, and there seemed to be wisps of blood, and this kind of place seems to have become a part of his body and has life. I seem to be able to control plants. That's not right. Maybe they were eroded by the power of purgatory in all directions and became their own puppets. The magical power of 10 directions purgatory is used again, which is a divine domain with life. Mengjian lowered his head and thought. At this time, under Mengjian's control, everything in the ancestral land of the human emperor clan, including the plants, stones, and temples, had their blood streaks disappear. Everything seemed to be back to normal. Even if you cut a piece of stone at random, you won't see any blood streaks in it. However, when Mengjian peeked into the divine eyes, he could see that the stone had been completely penetrated by bloodshot, and there were dense bloodshot inside and on the surface. This power becomes special. Mengjian threw the stone away. He felt that the 9 tribulations god demon level 10 directions purgatory magical power was completely different from before. He continued to improve. He also raised the magical power belong Tianchu by a small level to reach the 9 tribulations entry into the level of gods and demons. Tyrannosaurus Tianchu, entry into the level of gods and demons in the 9 tribulations, 1.84 billion points of gods and demons rightward arrow small success. Hold head high. Mengjian's divine consciousness made another roar, and fell on an endless starry sky in a trance. Deep in the starry sky in front, a true dragon of unknown size roared. The entire starry sky collapsed in an instant. What? The power of time and space was all destroyed by a roar. Powerful. Domineering. Unruly. However, this roar fell into Mengjian's consciousness, and it just made his consciousness blank for a long time. What kind of power protected him and kept him safe? Overcome this calamity. In reality, Mengjian seemed to have a real dragon raising his head, and the domineering aura of the real dragon filled the air from him. It was like a real dragon looking down at the world, living if he wanted you to live, and dying if he wanted you to. Death. After Mengjian opened his eyes, he sat blankly for a moment. In his mind, he was still thinking about the starry sky and the invisible real dragon. It was too huge. Call. This is only the first calamity of the 10 directions purgatory and the tyrannical dragon's divine power. What if it is the calamity of the gate of time and space? Mengjian was frightened and took a deep breath. He shook his head. Mengjian then upgraded the gate of time and space to the original god-demon level. He upgraded it by 2 small levels, which cost him more than 20 billion god-demon points at the moment when he was promoted to the original level of gods and demons. Mengjian's divine consciousness flashed, and he saw the existence of the long river of time in the world of gods and demons. He also saw on the current long river of time, an extremely huge figure of gods and demons, in this long river of time. The center occupies most of the long river of time. And at the same position in the long river of time, next to the huge figure of gods and demons, there are countless figures as small as ants. Such small figures are moving forward. There are more in the river of more than 1,000 years. It was the time before the world of gods and demons. Mengjian's eyes flashed, and he looked in front of the river of time, but he could only see the river of time about 1 million years ago. Going forward, it was just hazy and he couldn't see clearly. Not yet. Mengjian pondered for a moment, and estimated that the perfect time-space gate magical power at the original god demonic level was not enough for him to fish for people in the long river of time. His eyes fell on the long river of time about 100 years ago, and the nine-headed saint of the Abyss Demon clan Jun fought hard and was killed by Che Li. Boom! Just as Mengjian's divine consciousness was about to fish Che Li out of the long river of time, his huge god demonic figure stretched out an arm and reached out to Che Li's body 100 years ago, but his huge figure, as soon as the figure of the god and demon moved, ripples appeared in the long river of time. This ripple fell on Mengjian's consciousness. Mengjian's head stung, and blood seeped out from the corner of his mouth. The injuries in his body recovered instantly, but his consciousness it will probably take some time to recover. You are still in the long river of time in the world of gods and demons, so you are not qualified to fish for people. Mengjian whispered. He looked at himself in the river of time in the demon world. His huge body. If he wants to escape from the river of time, he can only rely on his current strength or the power of time and space. Obviously it is not enough to do so. I just don't know if I can do it if I break through the gods and demons in the nine tribulations realm. After pondering for a moment, Mengjian didn't think about it anymore and raised the immortal celestial puppet to the perfection of the original god and demon level. He still had one god and demon point left in his body. More than 150 billion. Mainly the skills and the magical power of the gate of time and space, as well as the improvement of one level of cultivation realm, which requires too many divine and demon points. Go out. The people in Shi Laoding have almost been cleared away, leaving only those who escaped or hid. There is no trace of the human race left. Then it's time to rebuild the demon-suppressing army. Mengjian stood up, and in a flash, a crack opened in the world in front of him, instead of entering and exiting through the previous entrance. This is because the divine power of the 10 directions purgatory has eroded and controlled this place. Whoosh! Mengjian he took one step forward and appeared in the sky above the human emperor city. His eyes looked outside the human emperor city, and the endless human land was reflected in his eyes. Emperor Deng Ai, Xiong Zhantian and others appeared in front of them one by one. Call! Mengjian waved his hand, and one after another space-time gates were opened between heaven and earth. On the other side of the time-space gates was the Eastern Emperor and the others. It's time to come back. Rebuild the demon-suppressing army. Mengjian's voice resounded in the minds of Emperor Dong and others, making the bodies of these orphans of the demon-suppressing army tremble in vain. The demon-suppressing army has a special emotional existence for Emperor Dong and others. Nowadays, to re-establish the existence of the demon-suppressing army, the Eastern Emperor and others have quite complicated emotions, with both excitement and melancholy. After the demon-suppressing army has been rebuilt, can it still be the previous demon-suppressing army? After guarding the abyss for 1 billion years, when he returned, his family became a criminal clan. Author, Top 47. Chapter 75. Let's go back to the imperial city. Emperor Dong raised his head and looked towards the direction of the human territory occupied by the Abyss Demon clan. In the recent period, the Yuan family slaves of the Abyss Demon clan have been ready to move, constantly provoking them. Or, provoking the Abyss Demon clan and driving the Abyss monsters came to attack and test. I didn't attack them before because they were still useful. But now, it's time to clean them up. Whoosh! As soon as the Eastern Emperor crossed the gate of time and space, the millions of gods and demons behind him were now less than 1 million. At this moment, they all followed him to the human emperor city. On the other side, Xiong Zhantian opened his eyes. There is an aura of immortal gods and demons emanating from his body. It is not the aura of the body of the god puppet. It is his soul, which exudes the aura of immortal gods and demons. After so many years, he has finally been promoted to the level of immortal gods and demons. Call. Fortunately, there was no delay. Xiong Zhantian muttered, then he carried the 2 magic hammers beside him and said, let's go back to the human imperial city to meet His Majesty the human emperor. Yes, son of God people. There were only less than 500,000 gods and demons left behind them, and they shouted with their heads held high. The terrifying evil intent on their bodies soared into the sky, and when they gathered together, it was like rivers of blood flowing across the sky and the earth. This aura moved together, they all shocked the Abyss Demon clan. But then these auras disappeared, and one by one followed Xiong Zhantian into the gate of time and space. When they reappeared, they were already far outside the human emperor city, an endless territory away. Walk. Let's go back to. Xianyu and Moxiu, Ying Tianhu and others have returned with people from all directions of the human race. At this moment, the other half of the human race's territory is occupied by the Abyss Demon clan. Yuan Jie Wenhuang, Yuan Tianzong and other human gods and demons, as well as the 9-headed Saint Lord of the Abyss Demon clan and other demons, all looked at the direction of the human emperor city. That guy Meng Zhan suddenly called everyone back. They say they want to rebuild the demon-suppressing army. Yuan Tianzong said. Snort. Demon-suppressing army? This is a joke. An immortal ancestor of gods and demons from the Changsheng family sneered, with deep hatred in his eyes, and hissed if Meng Zhan could really deal with us and Lord Shenjun and other powerful demons, he would have taken action long ago. Why wait until today? Lord Shenjun, I think it's better for us to take action directly. After a mere battle, under the hands of Lord Shenjun, is he not just an ant? Another immortal god and demon also nodded and said yes, now that Meng Zhan has just summoned everyone there. If we take action, maybe we can defeat them in one fell swoop in this battle. At that time, the Holy Lord will be able to control the powerful men of the demon clan, unify the world of gods and demons, and control the human race. The 9-headed saint and the other demonic saints did not speak. During this period, their strength increased dramatically. After comparing Meng Zhan's previous strength, the 9-headed saint was already somewhat sure of dealing with Meng Zhan. So, after a moment, Judiou the Holy Lord sensed that the auras of the abyssal demons that were staring closely at them disappeared one by one and gathered towards the human imperial city. He immediately rose into the sky and transformed into an extremely huge abyssal demon. Hydra. Kill. In this battle, the human race will never stand up again. When the 9-headed Saint Lord roared, countless abyssal demons from all directions suddenly screamed in unison, and the abyssal monsters surged out like a tide. They began to attack the other half of the human race's territory. And the 9-headed Saint Lord and other abyssal demon clan saints, then looked at Yu Wenhuang and other human gods and demons. The 9-headed Saint Lord coldly snorted, "You take the lead. Go to the human imperial city." Yu Wenhuang, Yuan Tianzong, and others' expressions did not change. They had expected this for a long time. Yu Wenhuang nodded slightly and said okay. But the Holy Lord must not forget that after killing Meng Zhan, the remaining human race will be handed over to our Yuan family. The 9-headed Saint Lord said indifferently, the Abyss Demon clan, are not as despicable as you. Haha. Yu Wenhuang just smiled coldly in his heart. Just listen to this. Whoever believes it is a liar. Walk. Yu Wenhuang waved his hand and took a group of tribesmen into his own divine domain, and then went to the human emperor city. The same was true for other human gods and demons who had joined the Yuan family. Wait until the human gods and demons went to the human emperor city first to kill. 9. The Tao Yu Shenjun and other immortal gods and demons of the Abyss Demon clan set out to. In the past, the Tang family's ancestral land. Meng Zhan walked out of the wooden house, followed by Teng Qianqian, but compared with before, now Teng Qianqian had no body as a god. The moment her soul breaks through the immortal gods and demons, she can reshape her body. At that time, Teng Qianqian returned to Renhuang city and gave herself to Meng Zhan. It wasn't until Teng Qianqian had a baby in her belly that Meng Zhan asked Teng Qianqian to come here to cultivate, and condensed a Taoist body to come here to accompany her and protect her. The moment you walk out of the cabin. Meng Zhan turned his head slightly to look at the nine-headed Saint Lord and the others, and said in a low voice, "I'm really not afraid of death." Teng Qianqian looked at him and said, "Brother Meng, what's wrong?" "Fine. Let's go back." Meng Zhan shook his head, waved his hand to open a space-time gate, and pulled her towards the human emperor city. The Taoist body is a virtual incarnation that condenses divine power, not a clone. The power of such an incarnation will weaken with the consumption of fighting. So many times before, the protagonist let the Taoist body hide in a god puppet, not a clone. Don't think too much. Buzz. When the Taoist body brought Teng Qianqian back to the human emperor city, it turned into a ray of divine power and integrated into Meng Zhan's body disappeared. Teng Qianqian came behind Meng Zhan, looked at Meng Zhan's back, her pretty face blushed slightly. She did not step forward to disturb Meng Zhan, but was outside Renhuang city. With the return of Emperor Dong and others, a group of another force of gods and demons has returned together. It is completely different from 1,000 years ago. At this moment, the aura of these gods and demons has a strong blood evil aura. They have fought countless times and killed so many people. The ferocious aura of the surviving gods and demons is obvious. And the expressions on their faces and their eyes are like bloodthirsty guys. They don't care about life and death. Thousands of years ago, there were hundreds of millions of gods and demons. There are only less than 30 million people who can still come outside this human imperial city. It is His Majesty the human emperor. Everyone in the Renhuang city came out. Looking up, you can see Meng Zhan and others standing in the sky above the Renhuang city. Dong Huiyi, Xianyuan Moxiu, Ying Tianhu, Xiong Zhantian and other former townspeople, the people from the demon army, all came to Meng Zhan at this moment. They looked at Meng Zhan with solemn faces. Bang bang bang. They all knelt down and worshipped, and the sound was loud. Meet the human emperor. Down below, outside the human emperor city, all the gods and demons looked up at Meng Zhan at this moment, with a bit of awe and passion in their eyes. Together with Emperor Dong and others, they bowed to Meng Zhan. Meet the human emperor. Meet the human emperor. Meet the human emperor. The shouts one after another shook the territory of hundreds of millions of miles around. The situation changed drastically in an instant. The endless wind howled and swept across. The terrifying and murderous aura shrouded the entire human imperial city. In the city, countless people's faces turned pale in vain. Were all frightened by the terrifying aura erupted by the group of gods and demons outside. Some even lost their feet and collapsed on the ground. Quick, kneel down quickly. The older gods and demons scolded them repeatedly, and then they all knelt down. Some old servants of the Meng family looked at the Meng Zhan above, with excitement and sadness on their faces. They were under the gods and demons outside the city. When praying, also bow down together. Meet the human emperor. After the cry, Meng Zhan raised his hand slightly, and the human race's golden dragon of luck appeared at this moment. The rich and bright golden divine light shone in the sky. A golden dragon roared out, tumbling over the human emperor city, and finally circled around Meng Zhan. The majestic dragon eyes looked down at everyone below. Suddenly, there was silence in all directions of the human imperial city. The wind also stopped. Meng Zhan looked at the Eastern Emperor and others, and also looked at the group of gods and demons below, and said, "Today, I will become the emperor of the human race through Mengjian. Rebuilding the demon-suppressing army. Kill all the abyss demons and their henchmen." Boom boom boom. At this time, cracks were torn apart in the sky in the distance. As the world shook, coffins made of black stone flew out one after another, and flew towards the human emperor city at extremely fast speeds. Ha ha ha. Mengjian, just because you still want to be the human emperor. Today, my Yuan family will give you some gifts. How about you take your group of demon-suppressing troops and lie down in them? Yuan Huang's cold voice rang out, roaring with deep anger and resentment. The voice was deafening and made many people in the imperial city have their ears ringing. Whoosh! A group of human immortal gods and demons appeared. The leader the people were surprisingly Yuan Huang and Yuan Tianzong, and behind them, there were nearly 200 immortal gods and demons of the human race. These all fled to the Changsheng family under the Yuan family strives for survival. Although many members of the family were swallowed up by the abyss demons, at least their family still exists and has not been wiped out. This leaves a glimmer of hope for recovery. They came here, seeing Mengjian in the sky above the human imperial city. The hatred and killing intent were undisguised in his eyes. The terrifying aura of gods and demons exploded, and as the heaven and earth shook, strong winds tore through the sky and swept in all directions, destroying everything in all directions. Mountains and land. Fight. You let the human race end up in such a predicament, and you still have the nerve to claim to be the human emperor? People like you should be suppressed, punished day and night, and forced to live or die. You, Mengjian, even if you die, cannot repay the blood feud of hundreds of millions of people in the human race. The immortal gods and demons roared one after another. Buzz. And behind them, a terrifying demonic energy appeared at this moment. The moment it appeared, it spread to all directions and swept across the world. In an instant, the world changed. The nine-headed Saint King and other immortal gods and demons appeared, looking at the human emperor city in front, Mengjian, and a group of human gods and demons outside the human emperor city, and said coldly, "Kill." However, regarding their appearance, neither Mengjian nor Dong Emperor and others were surprised at all. They didn't even look up. Mengjian focused on the system. The second task of rebuilding the demon-suppressing army was still there. It has not been completed. In addition to reconstruction, the soul of the demon-suppressing army must be reshaped. This. Buzz. As Mengjian moved, countless black stone coffins sent by Yuan Huang crashed to the ground. These things were still useful, so they were not destroyed directly. But Yuan Huang and others suddenly stopped. They were all imprisoned. In that piece of time and space, even the expressions on their faces seemed to be motionless. Everyone, as well as the nine-headed Saint Lord and other demons behind them, could not move. The demon-suppressing army obeys the order. Kill them all, the abyss demons. Mengjian raised his head slightly and looked at all the guys imprisoned by him in the void ahead, including Yuan Huang and a group of human gods and demons. The indifferent voice vibrated in the ears of Emperor Dong and others. After guarding the abyss for 1,000,000,000 years, when he returned, his family became a criminal clan. Author, Top 47. Chapter 76. In the almost stagnant time and space, Yuan Huang gradually realized that something was wrong. At this moment, his divine body was horrified. What happened? I practiced the blood god sun's magical power and devoted nearly half of my strength to achieve this clone. Even if the clone dies, nothing will happen to me. How come you feel like this? Yuan Huang was terrified. He looked at Mengjian in front of him. In just a blink of an eye, he had already seen the gods and demons outside the human emperor city moving at a terrifying speed. Even if it was just an ordinary god and demon, that movement the speed is faster than he imagined. What's going on? Yuan Huang was horrified to see it. It wasn't just Yuan Huang. At this moment, the nine-headed Saint Lord and other Abyss Demon Clan Saint Lords were all bound by the time and space of that world. The flow of time and space was almost stagnant, and their thinking speed was almost stagnant. Compared with the outside, it was the same. But when Meng Zhan raised his head, Emperor Dong waited for the demon-suppressing army to gather and turned around. They were all aware of something wrong the moment they came towards them. The power of time and space. No, no. The nine-headed Saint Lord's eyes were about to burst, and the terrifying power in his body was shaking. He wanted to shatter this world, and he also wanted to shake the power of time and space that imprisoned him. But it was useless. In an instant, the nine-headed Saint Lord's mentality collapsed. How so? How could this human race Meng Zhan control such strong space-time power? It just took a blink of an eye. Nine-headed Saint Lord and Yuan Huang realized that something was wrong in their minds, and they felt panic in their hearts. As soon as Emperor Dong and them came, they had already arrived in front of them. Xiong Zhantian looked at Yuan Huang, who was the leader, and snorted coldly. Said human race orthodoxy. Is surrendering to you the only way out for the human race? Unexpectedly, as a result of the sacrifice of countless members of our demon-suppressing army, you all gave up not long after you came into contact with the Abyss Demons. It's just a matter of colluding with the Abyss Demon clan and being a dog for them. Boom. Xiong Zhantian trampled Yuan Huang under his feet, stepped on his face, and stamped his head deep into the soil, kicking him again and again. Compared to the Abyss Demon clan, your Yuan family is even more despicable. More deserving of death. However, the Emperor said that this body of yours is just a clone. It doesn't matter, I'll be in front of your true body in a moment. After that, Xiong Zhantian's power was shaken, and the power of the god puppet at the peak of the immortal god and demon realm was strangled, and he quickly killed Yuan Huang's clone. Kill. As soon as Emperor Dong and the others took action, all the human gods and demons in the sky, as well as the immortal gods and demons of the Abyss Demon clan such as the nine-headed Saint King, were unable to fight back. Under the restraint of Meng Zhan's power, they could not take more than 3 breaths. This void has been completely cleared. The monstrous demonic energy overflowed and disappeared. The new members of the demon-suppressing army who were following Emperor Dong and others were all stunned. Originally, they all planned to fight desperately. Yuan Huang and others, a fight between human gods and demons and powerful abyss demons such as the nine-headed Saint Lord. Who knows? It's gone so easily. That's it? His Majesty the Human Emperor imprisoned the traitor ancestor of the Yuan family, as well as the immortal gods and demons of so many human races, and the powerful men of the Abyss Demon clan without even moving a muscle. I have known for a long time that His Majesty the Human Emperor is invincible in the world, otherwise, he would not have destroyed those Shi-Laoding families so easily. But, this is too easy. If you really want to deal with these guys, His Majesty the Human Emperor will probably do it in just one thought, without even moving a finger. Your Majesty the Human Emperor, this has definitely reached the realm of the ancient human emperor. Ha ha ha, with His Majesty the Human Emperor here, our human race will definitely become stronger. What a mere Abyss Demon clan. The new members of the demon-suppressing army were extremely excited. However, when Emperor Dong and others turned around and glanced at them, all the demon-suppressing army silenced their voices. Buzz. Gates of time and space appear in front of you. Kill. None of the abyss demons and those bugs will be left behind as soon as Emperor Dong gave them some orders. Swish, swish. Team after team of the demon-suppressing army followed them across the gate of time and space, and this gate of time and space also dissipated. At this moment, in the abyss, in a captive area specially opened for the human race by the nine-headed Saint Lord and other abyss demons, Yu Huaheng's body suddenly opened, his eyes with a horrified look on his face. All dead. Just like that, they were all dead. Yu Huaheng was not surprised that his clone would be killed. He originally wanted to use himself as bait, and then he could reassure the powerful demons such as the nine-headed Saint Lord of the Abyss Demon clan and fight bloody battles with Meng Zhan. The best in the end, it was still a lose-lose situation. In the end, he could go out and clean up the mess and gain. But Yu Wenhuang recalled the situation just now, and his heart was full of fear. Even the nine-headed Saint Lord and other Abyss Demon clan Saint Lords, who were becoming more and more terrifying in strength, were easily killed by Meng Zhan. This strength can completely sweep everything. Wrong, I thought wrong, Yu Wenhuang said in horror. Meng Zhan didn't dare to attack us because he estimated the power of the Abyss Demons. But he doesn't care about us at all, nor does he care about the power of the Abyss Demons. He just wants to use our power to eliminate some people from the human race. It can even be said that he uses the power of the Abyss Demon race to kill people. By now, all those who should be cleaned up have been cleaned up, and we, or the Abyss Demon clan, have no use value. He took action and eradicated us. Thinking of Meng Zhan's terrifying strength, Yu Wenhuang felt cold. He originally thought it was safe to stay in the abyss. But now think about it, it's not safe. If the Abyss Demon clan has no existence that can compete with Meng Zhan, then Meng Zhan it would be easy to lead people into the abyss and kill the Abyss Demons. No, we have to lead people away. When Yu Wenhuang was panicking and thinking about taking his people out of the abyss to escape, Emperor Dong Ai and the others also took their own people and came to the junction where the human race was ravaged by the abyssal demons. Whoosh whoosh. The demon-suppressing army, which counted in the hundreds of thousands, came out of the gate of time and space. As soon as they appeared, they could see the dense crowds in front of them, and countless abyss monsters and demons in their field of vision were frantically attacking the human race. The territory controlled. The number is so large that it is more than tens of millions. This demon-suppressing army of hundreds of thousands appears so small in front of the Abyss Demon clan, as if a single impact can drown them. Seeing the Eastern Emperor waiting, hundreds of thousands of demon-suppressing troops appeared, and the group of Abyss Demons were stunned. Over the years, few human gods and demons have dared to appear in front of them. Now, is it the person under Meng Zhan from the human race? At that moment, one of the Abyss Demon clan was furious and shouted, "Human Meng Zhan's subordinates? You damn humans, I will definitely kill you and let Meng Zhan see the consequences of daring to go against me, the Abyss Demon clan. Kill them and eat them all alive." Roar. Countless abyss monsters raised their heads and roared. They all turned around and rushed towards Dong Emperor Yi and the others. Go ahead. Killing all the abyss demons and monsters is your only mission if you want to become the demon-suppressing army. Emperor Dong had a cold look in his eyes. After giving the order, he moved forward to kill him. Buzz. Between heaven and earth. The divine fire swept across the sky and turned into a divine beast, a golden crow, covering the sky and the sun with a flap of its wings. It rushed into the group of abyss monsters ahead. Hoo ho ho. The sky and the earth are swept by violent winds, and the divine fire burns the sky. Phew. The flame bird cried out, and the terrifying flames instantly burned out the abyss monsters within tens of millions of miles. Then they rushed forward. Kill. Hundreds of thousands of demon-suppressing troops dispersed behind Emperor Dong. There were too many abyss monsters and demons. Once Emperor Dong committed suicide alone, not a single abyss monster could break out of him. Wherever the defense line passed, all monsters and demons were killed. The rest of the demon-suppressing army spread out on both wings. Their fight with the abyss demons and monsters was much more difficult. Injuries and even killings were common. Dong the Emperor did not completely protect them. If he did, what else would they do? Without experiencing countless bloody battles and life and death, how could they truly serve the human race and the human emperor today? Just like the human race before, what kind of shit did that become? Kill. In other places, Xiong Zhantian and others also led a demon-suppressing army to kill. After seeing the dense group of abyss monsters and demons, Xiong Zhantian's eyes surged with murderous intent, and a violent blood-evil aura filled the sky. As if he had become another person. With a roar and an order, Xiong Zhantian had already carried 2 divine hammers and rushed straight into the group of abyss monsters ahead. Boom! The 2 hammers landed, and a concussive force swept through the earth in all directions. Not only did the earth become shattered, but even the abyss monsters and demons on the earth were swept and crushed by the force before they had time to react. The people who followed Xiong Zhantian were also extremely violent. Xiong Zhantian roared, and each of them rushed to kill like Xiong Zhantian, like a madman who was desperate for his life. This fighting style was completely different from that of Emperor Deng Ai. Elsewhere, Xianyu and Moshiu, Ying Tianhu and more than 100 people led their own teams. Although they only had more than 30 million demon-suppressing troops, the moment they came into contact with the power of the abyss demons, they had already torn apart the sweeping abyss demons. Race. Countless abyss demons are as fragile as paper in front of them. Kill. Another bloody battle begins. The few surviving human gods and demons in the human race are now alarmed by this movement. Originally, they were shocked that Meng Zhan gave an order before, claiming to be the human emperor, and rebuilding the demon-suppressing army. But at this moment, they saw the power of human gods and demons one after another, and suddenly they rushed into the abyss demon clan that was like Wang Yang. They were all shocked when they were among the monsters. This is so tyrannical. Boom. Just when they were shocked, the human race's territory suddenly shook violently. An invisible field separated the raging territory of the abyss demons from the territory still controlled by the human race. The huge territory, they were all isolated by this invisible field. When countless abyss demons and monsters rushed forward, they suddenly hit this wall. Bang bang bang. One blood flower after another exploded on this field. On the human emperor city. Meng Zhan looked over there indifferently. Now the entire human race has been cleaned up by him, and 100% of the remaining people are no, this human territory is already his territory. It is naturally impossible for him to let the abyss demons wreak havoc and destruction on his territory. He has isolated this group of abyss demons and monsters. The only thing left is let the newly formed demon-suppressing army kill all the abyss demons and monsters. In this way, the task should be completed. Meng Zhan secretly thought, if it weren't for this, he would be able to destroy these abyss demons in a short time by himself. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After guarding the abyss for 1 billion years, when he returned, his family became a criminal clan. Author, Top 47. Chapter 77. But the abyss demons and monsters that separated the endless territory with a wall were so powerful that at this moment, the surviving human gods and demons were stunned. They watched the group of abyssal demons and monsters collide with the barriers of the field, and each one instantly turned into blood mist and exploded. A moment. In the entire human race territory, there are more than hundreds of millions of abyss demons and monsters dying on the border. Those gods and demons were shocked when they saw it. What kind of power is this? Formation? Or the divine realm? It must not be a formation. Whose formation can be distributed like this? The amount of magical materials that will be consumed, as well as the time required to lay it out, are countless. This is the power of the human emperor, the human emperor. There was a battle outside the human imperial city not long ago. Do you know who wants to attack the human imperial city? The group of human thieves from the Yuan family, as well as the holy kings and immortal gods and demons from the abyss demon clan, but as a result, as soon as they appeared, they were suppressed by the human emperor at a glance. They couldn't move and they were all dead. Wow! How is this possible? How is it impossible? The human emperor is an existence that transcends the realm of immortal gods and demons. All the races were shocked. After hearing the words, some gods and demons' eyes flickered a little, and they observed for a long time. When they saw that all the abyss monsters and demons were isolated, all the races were extremely surprised. But at this time, some people, after hesitating for a long time, he gritted his teeth and gave the order, leading those in the clan who could fight against the abyss demons and monsters to rush towards the abyss demons. Kill. With the human emperor here, our human race will definitely be able to revive again in the future. What do you have to fear about these abyss demons and monsters? Some gods and demons roared. The roar shook the sky, and some gods and demons above the starry sky could clearly hear it. This sentence made all the gods and demons shake. It was not because of the righteousness of the human race, but because of the human emperor and in the future. There is no doubt that after the new human emperor bloodbathed the human race, there are now few powerful forces in the human race. And if the abyss demon clan is suppressed again, then this battle will be an opportunity. Whether they can survive the new human race under the emperor, you have the opportunity to develop your tribe and strengthen your own family. Killing or not killing the abyss demons is a choice. Kill. After a moment of decision, most of the gods and demons chose to take action, but by the time they led their tribesmen across the border and came into contact with the abyss demons and monsters, it was already more than half a year later. And at this moment, the abyss demon clan has begun to retreat in fear. Because they discovered that the nine-headed Saint Lord and other powerful abyss demon clan who disappeared are all dead. Among the abyss demon clan who have rushed out of the abyss now, there are not only immortal gods and demons, but there are still quite a few, but the number of strong men in the immortal gods and demons realm is not that many. That time in Human Emperor City, they almost killed all the strong abyss demons in the gods and demons realm. Without the nine-headed Saint Lord and other abyss demons, immortal gods and demons, these abyssal demons and monsters cannot compete with the Eastern Emperor's first-class demon-suppressing army. Even if they have countless abyssal demons and monsters, the demon-suppressing army only has a mere 30 million, which is a fraction of theirs. Not even a wave of waves can drown the demon-suppressing army. But in fact, there are more than 30 million demon-suppressing armies chasing them to kill them. Kill. More than half a year later, most of the remaining gods and demons in the human race came to the territory outside the divine domain of Mengjian to fight with the abyss monsters. Even though Mengjian and the others had bloodbathed most of the human race, the remaining people were not even 100% of the previous one. But the base of the human race is too huge. Most of the remaining people are rushing to fight against the abyss monsters. The number is still in the hundreds of millions, and they can also deal with some abyss monsters. Demon Clan. Human Emperor City. Mengjian brought Teng Qianqian back to the Human Emperor Palace, quietly watching the movements of the human clan, watching the demon-suppressing army killing the abyss demon clan. While waiting, Mengjian was also taking in the aura of gods and demons in the world, accumulated points of gods and demons. The speed was no slower than in the ancestral land of the Human Emperor clan. Time passed by. In the past, the Abyss Demon clan invaded the territory of the human race and ravaged nearly half of the human race's territory for thousands of years. Now, less than 200 years have passed since the abyssal demons fled. Most of them have fled back to the abyss. The remaining abyssal demons are still scattered in all parts of the human race's territory, causing trouble for the demon-suppressing army and the human race. Let those abyssal demons withdraw into the abyss. The bloody battle will continue. The abyssal demons and the demon-suppressing army will not take care of them, and they will all be dealt with by the remaining people of the human race. As for the abyssal demons, the demon-suppressing army will still fight into the abyss. In the palace of the human emperor. System mission: reorganize the demon-suppressing army and forge the soul of the demon-suppressing army. Complete the world-suppressing treasure, the altar of gods and demons, array of world origin seed, and the human race fairy cord token. New mission released, Take control of the world of gods and demons and kill the sky-blooded monster. Task reward, unknown. Task time limit, no limit. Buzz. At a certain moment, a dazzling light shone in Meng Zhan's mind, exuding supreme power, suppressing the entire world in Meng Zhan's mind, and his soul seemed to be pressed by a sacred mountain. When the light subsided slightly, Meng Zhan saw that it was a token. On the token, there are traces of chaotic aura rising and falling. Every breath of chaos is like a world, all pressed on this token. That supreme power carries unimaginable power. And through this token, Meng Zhan seemed to see strange worlds one after another. Human Immortal Court Token. There was a piece of information in Meng Zhan's mind, and his eyes suddenly became a little surprised. Through this token, he learned about a place called the Sea of Chaos. There is the ancestral land of the human race, and there is also a force called the Human Immortal Court. This Human Immortal Court token comes from this supreme force. And through this Human Immortal Court token, he can go to a Human Immortal Court under the Sea of Chaos to control it. In the world, it can be used as an envoy of gods. This thing is definitely a treasure for Meng Zhan now. This Human Fairy Court token appeared in Meng Zhan's mind, and he even felt that his divine sea had become countless times more stable, with a mysterious aura appeared to protect him. It's really a good thing, but the Human Fairy Court. Meng Zhan pondered for a moment, then suppressed his thoughts. Focus on the divine realm within your own body. The moment the system task was completed, a hazy and chaotic aura appeared in his divine domain. Countless divine patterns were intertwined. Even for Meng Zhan, it was a headache. These divine patterns were too huge and mysterious. It's still unclear, but these divine patterns have now formed something like a seed. World Origin Seed. Coming from the origin of the world of gods and demons, refining the seed of the origin of the world of gods and demons, one can control the world of gods and demons in the future. Become the true master of the world of gods and demons, the Lord of the world. Meng Zhan's divine consciousness fell on the seed in the divine domain, and his consciousness suddenly boomed. The vision rose all the way from the human emperor's palace. He overlooked the human emperor city, the territory near the human emperor city, and even the entire human race territory at that moment. Meng Zhan's consciousness broke away from the time and space constraints of the world of gods and demons, as if he could see the existence of the entire world of gods and demons through this original seed of the world. It was a spherical light group. It was like light wrapped in an eggshell. Group. Through the light group, you can see the extremely huge world of gods and demons. And a cage-like thing under the world of gods and demons. That is the abyss. And in the original space of the world of gods and demons, Meng Zhan saw another reward, the most treasured treasure in the world, the altar of gods and demons. Meng Zhan thought about what he saw. The abyss turned out to be a place where terrifying demons were imprisoned. Even the abyss demons and monsters were only eroded by the aura he exuded. And formed a monster. The sky-blooded monster. Judging from the information obtained from the origin of the gods and demons, this is a terrifying existence of a god and demon in the ninth tribulation of the 9 tribulations. Now it is sealed under the abyss. No one knows. And the existence of human race in the gods and demons, originally, it was because of the birth of a small human family in the immortal courtyard that was responsible for guarding the abyss and guarding the sealed heavenly blood demonic beast. It took countless years for the prosperity of the human race in the world of gods and demons to flourish. Even the ancient emperor was a descendant of that small family. But tens of billions of years ago, the ancient emperor obtained a thing left behind by his family, found a way out, and was able to leave the world of gods and demons and find another way to reach the sky. There is also the altar of gods and demons. This thing is the most precious treasure in the world, and it is different from ordinary altars. Meng Zhan pondered. He had previously obtained a blue-scale warrior sacrificial refining method. The most important point is that it requires a sacrificial altar. but the sacrificial altar only needs to be an ordinary one. This altar of gods and demons is more special. Wherever the warriors trained in sacrifice are blessed with the power of the gods and demons, and their combat power is more tyrannical. And one thing that binds them is that the strength of the warriors is closely related to the gods and demons. With the power of the gods and demons today, they can withstand up to 500 the sacrifice of a blue-scale warrior. The combat power of a blue-scale warrior is the limit of the world of gods and demons. Good. Menjan thought about it in his mind. During this period of time, he has collected countless divine materials. Almost all the divine materials and treasures of the entire human race are now in his hands. If he collects them together, he might be able to collect more than a dozen. Here are the sacrificial materials for 20 blue-scale warriors. With these green-scale warriors, it will not be difficult at all to kill all the abyssal demons and monsters in the abyss. When the time comes, seal the abyss again. Wait until you have the strength. After killing the blazing blood monster, kill him again. The most important thing is that Menjan's eyes can see through the original seeds of the world and see through the existence of the entire world of gods and demons, even a grain of sand, dust, or small particles in the Jedi. The grass was clearly visible. Among many Jedi, Menjan could see some people hiding. In several Jedi worlds that were completely isolated from the outside world. Menjan also saw 4 people who had been hiding in the world for countless years. The ancient tribe sensed the physical auras of Jingao, Tao Enyi, and others, as well as a space-time aura that did not belong to the world of gods and demons. By opening a passage through this space-time aura, one could leave the world of gods and demons. Menjan's eyes flashed. Became more and more cold, with murderous intent revealed. He secretly thought in his heart, ancient clan? Where else can you hide at this time? Menjan didn't expect that after completing the mission, getting a world origin seed would allow him to discover the hidden clan land of the ancient clan. There are also those people hiding in various places. Almost all of these people escaped from the Shi Laoding forces, the Changsheng family and the God-Demon family. Originally, Menjan went to find them after he wanted to deal with the Abyss Demon clan. Now it's better. It's clear at a glance. After guarding the Abyss for 1 billion years, when he returned, his family became a criminal clan. Author, Top 47. Chapter 78. Buzz. Menjan began to refine the world origin seeds of the divine realm in his body. His mind fell on it and he began to understand the rules of refining the intertwined divine patterns. Wisp after wisp of magical connotation emanated from Menjan's body. Brother Meng. Teng Qianqian next to him immediately noticed the change in Menjan's aura, and an indescribable meaning enveloped the world around him. Hu ho ho. A pure power emerged between heaven and earth. It was 1,000 times richer than the aura of gods and demons in the ancestral land of the human emperor clan. Teng Qianqian's mind instantly became ethereal, as if he had fallen into a state of enlightenment. The power around him swept over him, turning into a vortex of heaven and earth poured into her body. As she practiced beside Menjan, the aura on her body gradually improved. And without Menjan and Teng Qianqian noticing, the little life in her belly also had a little bit of the power of the world of gods and demons. Surrounded, ups and downs, nourished by the power of the world of gods and demons, this little guy's life breath becomes more and more powerful. Before he knows it, he already has the origin of life breath comparable to gods and devils. He is a god and devil from the moment he is born. This it is a life bloodline that humans in the world of gods and demons have never had before. Almost 10 years have passed. When Menjan opened his eyes again, the aura on his body was already very different. Looking at Menjan before, it was like looking at an abyss, unfathomable and terrifying. So now, when I look at Menjan, I feel that he has completely changed. It is as if he is facing a piece of heaven and earth. Instead of a strong human race of gods and demons. The aura is like heaven and earth. It is so vast and boundless. Standing next to Mengjian, one feels the insignificance of facing the world directly. He feels ashamed and has the mentality of an ant. Finally, the original seed of the world was initially refined. Mengjian whispered. He looked at the woman beside him, Teng Qianqian. Although only 10 years had passed, in these 10 years, Teng Qianqian's aura had reached the middle stage of the immortal god and demon realm. He refined an opportunity like the world's origin seed is not something ordinary people can encounter. However, when Mengjian noticed the life breath of the little guy in Teng Qianqian's belly, Mengjian was shocked. The breath of gods and demons? Is this little guy born a god or demon? Seeing this, Mengjian felt a little envious. You little kid is so lucky. When I wanted to break through the gods and demons, it took me more than 10 years to reach the realm of gods and demons. As a result, you can become a god or demon right from birth. I wonder how long this little guy will stay in her mother's belly. If she were to be born, preparations would have to be made to build a foundation of gods and demons for her. After Mengjian thought about it, Teng Qianqian beside him also woke up from his practice. He opened his eyes and saw Mengjian staring at her unblinkingly. Teng Qianqian couldn't help but blushed and said angrily, "What are you looking at?" "Ah." Mengjian said, "Look at my baby. She has become a devil." "Ah." Only then did Teng Qianqian react and feel the little life in her belly. The aura of gods and demons is really there. And this aura of gods and demons is already particularly majestic. If she is really going to be born, I am afraid that the foundation of gods and demons cannot be underestimated. Far stronger than other gods and demons. It's really a devil. Teng Qianqian was extremely pleasantly surprised. She looked at Mengjian and said, "Brother Meng, our children will definitely be better than me in the future. Maybe they can catch up with your father." Ha ha ha. Meng Jian smiled, sweeping away the gloom of the past, and said, "If my little baby can really catch up with me, or even surpass me, then I won't be happy in time." After chatting with Teng Qianqian for a while, Mengjian asked her to go to the ancestral land of the human emperor clan to practice. And Mengjian took a look at the secluded places of the 4 ancient clans. Although it took a while, these 4 ancient clans nothing has changed, and the other 2 ancient tribes still haven't come back. Maybe it's just like the information obtained from the previous soul search, those 2 tribes went to the Shinwu heavenly realm and never came back. Look at the demon-suppressing army and the human race. Those gods and demons. The demon-suppressing army has gradually advanced, not far from the Abyss Passage. The other gods and demons of the human race are still cleaning up the Abyss demons scattered everywhere. Buzz. With a thought, Mengjian called back 10 people including Dong Huangdi Yi, Xianyu and Moxiu, Ying Tianhu, Xiong Zhantian, etc., opened the gate of time and space, and let them come back. Whoosh. Dong Huangdi Yi and the others walked through the gate of time and space. They came out and appeared directly in the human emperor's palace. They looked at Mengjian, and the bloody aura on his body disappeared. As soon as Emperor Dong came, they bowed in respect and said greetings to the human emperor. Meng Jian waved his hand and said, "Di Yi, Moshiu, and Ahu, I'm calling you back this time. The main reason is that the green scale warrior sacrificial refining method I obtained before can now be used. Moreover, this time of sacrificial refining can make you stronger. As long as the sacrificial refining is successful, then after becoming a blue scale warrior, the strength will be comparable to the peak of the original god and demon realm. The combat power is stronger than the peak of the ordinary primitive gods and demons. This is the blue scale warrior. What I want to ask you is, do you want to become a blue scale warrior? The strength at the peak of the original realm of gods and demons." As soon as Emperor Dong and the others heard this, they all looked at Mengjian dumbfounded. If they hadn't believed that Mengjian would not have deceived him and others, they all felt that Mengjian was just talking in his dreams. That was the peak of the primitive realm of gods and demons. The strength. Not the peak of the immortal god and demon realm. Human Emperor, is this green-scaled warrior really that strong? Xiong Zhantian almost bit his own tongue in shock and his eyes widened. They had worked so hard to practice for so many years, and they could barely comprehend the immortal gods and demons. But the blue-scale warriors can give them the power to reach the peak of the original gods and demons. Power. Emperor Dong lowered his head and thought for a moment, then looked up at Meng Zhan and whispered, "Human Emperor, will this happen?" What he wanted to say was whether the green-scale soldiers were too powerful and would lose control. Will there be any threat to Meng Zhan's status? The human race has just stabilized. If the blue-scale soldiers are produced at this time and still have such a powerful force, what if someone has lost their mentality? It's not impossible. Rest assured. Meng Zhan looked at Emperor Dong Ai and the others and said, "In the world of gods and demons, I am the master. Although the strength of the green-scale soldiers is good, it is also restricted by the world of gods and demons. Restricted by the altar. If you really become a blue-scale warrior, then you will really be loyal to me in the future and become a warrior in the world of gods and demons." This point. I bet Emperor Dong didn't wait for Meng Zhan to finish speaking before he said it. Then he bowed to Meng Zhan and said, "Since we respect you as the human emperor, then the human emperor does not need to worry about anything. We can become the human emperor. Soldiers, becoming soldiers of the world of gods and demons, that is our opportunity. Yes, yes, human emperor, we naturally have no objections. That is the peak strength of the primitive gods and demons. Whether we can reach it in this life is still a question." Xiong Zhantian and the others also said one by one. "Good. Then I will send you to the altar of gods and demons." Meng Zhan nodded and looked at the 10 first-class brothers of the Eastern Emperor. This is the trust that has experienced countless lives and deaths in a billion years. Some words can be felt even without saying them. Buzz. Following Meng Zhan's thoughts, a force enveloped Dong Emperor Yi and the others, and brought them to the altar of gods and demons at the origin of the world of gods and demons. Then, Meng Zhan sacrificed the sacred materials needed for the green-scale warriors. Put them all into the altar one by one. Call. Let's get started. I hope there will be no accidents in the sacrifice of this blue-scale warrior. Meng Zhan sat down cross-legged, closed his eyes, and focused on the origin of the world of gods and demons. He began to use the original power of the world of gods and demons to activate the altar of gods and demons. He used the original power of the world of gods and demons to sacrifice the green-scale warriors. This war soldiers are very special. It is almost equivalent to using gods and demons as sacred weapons to sacrifice. However, although this method will cause some pain, it is for the Eastern Emperor and the others who have achieved immortal gods and demons and experienced countless lives and deaths. It's nothing. A year later, when Emperor Dong Ai and the others came out of the altar of gods and demons and returned to the palace of human emperors, their bodies had already undergone great changes. Like copper skin and iron bones, if they use the skills of the green-scale warriors, then their bodies will be fully activated, and countless green divine patterns will appear on their bodies. Every cell and every hair is comparable to the original divine weapon. 10 people stand on the human emperor in the hall. Although the aura is not deep, but the 10 people are standing there, the whole world is suppressed by the chi machine on their bodies. If the human race outside stands in front of them, I am afraid they will be paralyzed by this chi machine. On the ground, just the energy of the body can suppress the immortal gods and demons. But at this moment, as soon as Emperor Dong and the others came out, they looked at Meng Zhan on the throne of the human emperor and found that even if he had become a blue-scaled warrior, he would have an incredible, even those at the peak of the original god and demon realm couldn't see through Meng Zhan. They couldn't help but marvel in their hearts. He was truly a legend of the demon-suppressing army. They hadn't noticed it before. But now, when they looked at Meng Zhan, they really felt like they were facing him. What they felt was the shocking touch of the vastness of the world, which shocked their hearts. Bang! As soon as Emperor Dong, they bowed on one knee to Mengjian, lowered their heads and said respectfully, "Meet the human emperor." Call. Mengjian stood up, waved his hand and lifted Dong Emperor Yi and the others up, saying, "Fortunately, you all successfully became green scale soldiers." Then next, Mengjian was about to ask Emperor Dong Ai to separate. The two of them went to clean up the Abyss Demon clan and seal the abyss. The four of them went with him to the four ancient clans, and the remaining four went to clean up those who were hiding. But before the words were spoken, Mengjian raised his brows slightly and looked towards the secluded places of the four ancient tribes. A ray of time and space from other worlds fluctuated. Next moment, there are a few auras of primitive gods and demons appearing in the hidden place of the four tribes. Feeling the breath of these primitive gods and demons, Mengyi's expression remained unchanged, and he whispered, after waiting for so many years, "Have some primitive gods and demons finally arrived?" Yes. This shows that these four ancient tribes have not given up on the world of gods and demons, and that those four ancient tribes can still be easily found in the world of gods and demons. That's good news. Gone. Go to the hidden places of the four ancient tribes and meet these people who have exterminated their tribes. Mengjian looked at Dong Emperor Yi and the others and said, waving his hands, he opened a door of time and space. This door of time and space leads directly to the hidden place of one of the ancient tribes, the Taoan family. He took Dong Emperor Yi and the others and stepped forward, went in together. After guarding the abyss for 1,000,000,000 years, when he returned, his family became a criminal clan. Author, Top 47. Chapter 79. Taoan Family. Because that thing is now kept in the hands of the Taoan family, the current passages to and from the Shinwu heavenly realm are all in the Taoan family's secluded place. This moment. Buzz. A powerful force of time and space emerged, forcibly opening up a passage the size of a person in the time and space of the world of gods and demons. This passage was opened, and the breath of time and air caused the clansmen in the hidden ancestral land of the Taoan family to raise their heads and look over there in surprise. The elder is back. Many people know that Tao Anzi went to the realm of gods and demons because of the affairs of the human race outside. But in just over 1,000 years, Tao Anzi returned to the world of gods and demons. This speed is very fast. This was not the case in the past. Will come back so soon. Whoosh whoosh. Tao Enyi and others rushed out of the house, and came to the nearby area in a moment, looking at the passage. Not long after, Tao An's aura appeared, and there were some people behind. Among them there was an ancestor of primitive gods and demons from their Taoan family, as well as elders and ancestors of primitive gods and demons from 3 other families, including the Jinj family. Seeing them walking out of the passage, Tao Enyi was overjoyed and hurriedly greeted them. He said respectfully, "Tao Enyi, pay homage to all the ancestors and elders." The rest of the immortal gods and demons of the Taoan family also greeted them with salutes. Beside Taoan, a man who looked like a young man nodded slightly. This man was a primitive ancestor of the gods and demons of the Taoan family, named Taoan Wu. This man was also an extraordinary member of the Taoan family. The genius was originally in the middle stage of the immortal gods and demons realm when he went to the divine martial heaven realm, but he was continuously promoted to the early stage of the primitive gods and demon realms in just a few 100,000,000 years. This speed of improvement has already attracted people from the divine martial heaven realm. A force noticed and successfully joined it, becoming a disciple of that force. As for his appearance, after breaking through the original gods and demons, he restored himself to his youthful appearance. Tao Anwu looked at Tao Enyi and said, "Then Mengjian, the remnant of the Meng family, shouldn't be dead yet? Is he out there causing trouble to the human race now?" Tao Enyi smiled bitterly, bowed and said, "Ancestor, that Mengjian started to attack Shi Laoding more than 1,000 years ago. Now, I am afraid that the human race has been controlled by him and he has become the new human emperor of the human race. Before Tao Anwu could speak, a person next to him snorted coldly. The sound was like thunder, which made Tao Enyi's face turn pale. The man said disdainfully, "Human emperor." Such a loud tone, even in the divine martial heaven realm, no one dares to call him the human emperor. Tao Anwu laughed and said, "Senior brother, forgive me, they are just a small place after all. It is normal to have such frogs in the well. Besides, if there are no tigers in the mountains, monkeys will still dominate, right? In the past, there was a primitive god and demon in their world of gods and demons, who also called himself the human emperor. Maybe this remnant of the Meng family thinks that being a personal emperor will make him very noble." Tao Anwu's tone was indifferent. He already used the term their world of gods and demons when he spoke, and he seemed to think that he was from the world of gods and warriors. The tone of his words was like looking down at the ants in the well, and towards Mengjian. The people in the world of gods and demons were full of indifference and disdain. They didn't take it seriously at all. The other three original gods and demons of the Jinji family didn't speak, they just looked at Tao Anwu and the man and woman who came with Tao Anwu. This both of them are primitive gods and demons, and they are disciples of the same force as Tao Anwu. Okay. Then let's get rid of that person with you, junior brother, and then play around in this world of gods and demons. This is my first time leaving the world of gods and demons. The young man snorted coldly and waved his hands. However, just when Tao Anwu was planning to use the special means of the Taoan family to move out of this place and out to the outside world, the sky and the earth above the closed ancestral land of the Taoan family. Suddenly, time and space suddenly with a slight movement, ripples appeared. A gate of time and space was forcibly opened in this Jedi space that was completely isolated from the outside world. One after another, figures stepped out of the Taoan family from the gate of time and space. The hidden ancestral land. The expressions of Tao Anwu and other members of the Taoan family changed slightly at this moment. They suddenly raised their heads and looked at the 11 people who suddenly appeared in the void. Behind the 11 people, that space-time the door disappeared in a blink of an eye. Tao Enyi's eyes were filled with astonishment. How is that possible? How could they just come in here? Wrong. How does Mengjian know that the hidden ancestral land of our Taoan family is here? Tao Enyi's eyes were only fixed on the leader Mengjian in the void. He was a little confused. He himself didn't know where their Taoan home was. How did Mengjian find this place? Above the void? Mengjian, looking down at the people below, his eyes fell on Tao Anwu and the young man, and he said indifferently, "How dare you speak arrogant words even in the early stages of the primitive realm of gods and demons? A frog in a well. There are no tigers in the mountains, but monkeys dominate. Large and luxurious." Mengjian shook his head, the killing intent in his eyes getting stronger and stronger. "Human Emperor, I'm coming." As soon as Emperor Dong stood up, his eyes were cold, staring at Tao Anwu and others, as if he were looking at a group of dead people. A breath emanated from his body, which instantly changed the expressions of Tao Anwu and other primitive gods and demons. In an instant, it turned completely white. Oops! Not the early stage of the primitive realm of gods and demons, but... Tao Anwu felt his scalp numb at this moment, and his body was instinctively frightened. He was about to turn around and escape to the back passage. But, the next moment, Emperor Dong Ai's hand flicked gently, and wisps of divine fire were born from the sky and the earth. In an instant, the hidden ancestral land of the entire Taoan family has been swept away. In this hidden ancestral land, all the people have one after another divine fire chain, imprisoning and restraining them. Buzz. Following Emperor Dong's single thought, his divine fire chain has already pulled Tao Anwu and others up into the void. The endless divine fire burned everything in the hidden ancestral land of the Taoan family. whether it was the sacred mountain, trees, or stones. Palace. Call. The divine fire swept out of Emperor Dong's body. Under the terrifying divine fire, everything turned into ashes and scattered on the ground. Even the earth was melting and flowing into magma. However, Tao Anwu and others were not burned out. They were all Emperor Dong I bound them with divine fire and imprisoned them. Meng Zhan and the others walked forward. They came not far from Tao Anwu and others. In the past, when your 6 ancient tribes were born, you not only robbed the Eastern royal family's treasure, but also caused endless killings among the human race. All members of my Meng family, Dong royal family, Xianyuan family, Teng family, and other families were wiped out. Even for hundreds of millions of years, they have refused to let go of members of our family and treat them as sinners. Meng Zhan's gaze swept over the elders of Tao Anwu, Tao Enji, Tao Enyi, and the Jin Ji family, as well as the ancestors of the original gods and demons. Everyone who was swept by his gaze had the hair standing on end. He stood up. It was horrifying. The fear on his face and eyes could no longer be suppressed. Meng Zhan said softly, "Have you ever thought that your own clan would be like this?" Wait. Wait. Senior. I was wrong. I, Wu Yuhao, was the one with the bad mouth. I should not have offended my seniors. Senior, I, Wu Yuhao, am a disciple of the Tianjian Shenzong, a super powerful force in the Xinwu heaven realm. I am not a member of their clan, and I am not familiar with these people. I don't know about their enmity with you, Senior, and I have no intention of getting involved. Senior, please treat me as a fart and let me go. The fellow disciple who came with Tao Anwu was so frightened that his face turned white, his mentality collapsed, his eyes widened as if he had seen a ghost, and he hurriedly begged for mercy. He never expected that just anyone around Meng Zhan would be so terrifying. That wave breath. It is the pinnacle of the original realm of gods and demons. Worry. Tao Anwu, Tao Anjia, I care about your ancestors. I just want to come here for a vacation and see what the world outside the Xinwu heavenly realm is like. Damn it, you have provoked an enemy at the peak of the primitive gods and demons realm? Did you let me hit you? What a bloody misfortune has happened to me, Wu Yuhao? Shut up. The Emperor Dong next to Meng Zhan yelled angrily. He moved his hand, and there was a cracking sound in his bones. With one slap, Wu Yuhao's teeth were knocked out, and half of his face was cracked with blood marks. This slap almost knocked out Wu Yuhao's teeth. Wu Yuhao's head was blown open. Wu Yuhao's brain was numb. There was a sharp pain, and his consciousness was blurred. Blood flowed all over his face. Meng Zhan stretched out his hand and took Wu Yuhao into his hand. These people did not appear in Dao body, but in their true form. Should I be able to search for souls myself? Boom. However, just when the power of Meng Zhan's soul moved and he wanted to search for the soul, a force suddenly appeared in Wu Yuhao's mind and turned into an illusory figure. Who wants to do this to my disciple Luzun? A roar of anger came from this illusory figure. A terrifying aura from the late stage of the primitive realm of gods and demons instantly tore apart the heaven and earth space of the Taoan family's hidden ancestral land. It could even destroy this place. But in an instant, this breath disappeared instantly like a dream bubble. The illusory figure exuding a terrifying aura, the breath on his body was also blocked in the blink of an eye, like a wild cat without teeth and claws. At this moment, there was a look of confusion on this man's face. Then he was agitated. His eyes fell on Meng Zhan, Dong Huangdi Yi, Xiong Zhantian and other 11 people, and the illusory figure trembled again. The peak of the original realm of gods and demons. All of them. Traitor, causing trouble again, the man suddenly became furious. He turned around and slapped Wu Yuhao on the other side of the face, knocking Wu Yuhao directly to the ground and spitting out a few more mouthfuls of blood. Then he turned around, and the face of the blurred figure was covered with blood. He said with shame, "Seniors, please forgive me. I am not good at teaching, and I have offended all my seniors. However, please, seniors, for the sake of our heavenly sword divine sect, can you let my disciple go? As long as you seniors let my disciple go, then when you seniors come to Tianjian Shenzong in the future, I, Lu Xun, will definitely give you good gifts and apologize for your seniors." Meng Zhan looked at this illusory figure with an expressionless face and said indifferently, "Are you done? That's it, let's do it." Boom. A wisp of the power of heaven and earth in the world of gods and demons moved slightly, and easily crushed Lu Xun's spiritual mark incarnation. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After guarding the abyss for 1,000,000,000 years, when he returned, his family became a criminal clan. Author, Top 47. Chapter 80. Divine Martial Heaven Realm. On a mountain peak. Lu Xun's face turned pale in vain, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. There was a stabbing pain in his mind, which made him frown and look extremely ugly. The soul mark was crushed. Although not as miserable as Tao Shen, it still made Lu Xun suffer a little. Dog thief! Dare to break my soul mark directly? Lu Xun gritted his teeth. Thinking that his apprentice Wu Yuhao might be killed by soul search, he felt even more furious. His fists made his joints turn white and crackle. But when he thought of the strength of Meng Zhan and others, Lu Xun's heart is filled with sadness again. He dares to be angry but dare not speak out. That is the peak of the 11 primitive gods and demons. If the sect knows that his apprentice has provoked so many enemies, why not chop him alive as well? Wrong. I seem to have seen Bai Ling Long. Lu Xun's expression suddenly changed. Whoosh. He rushed out of his cave and rushed toward a majestic sacred mountain deep in the sect. After rushing into the sacred mountain, Lu Xun quickly shouted, "Elder Qian, something happened." Got it? Something happened to Bai Ling Long, the little princess of the Bai family. Meng Zhan crushed Lu Xun's soul mark and continued to search for Wu Yuhao's soul. However, when his soul was forcibly searching for Wu Yuhao's soul, a forbidden power burst out in Wu Yuhao's mind, annihilating Wu Yuhao's soul in an instant. This power also wanted to attack Meng Zhan, but for a moment the human fairy court token in Meng Zhan's mind emitted a hazy glow. This power dissipated immediately. This made Meng Zhan raise his eyebrows and said, "It seems to be the power above the original gods and demons. Is it a restriction set by the 9 tribulations gods and demons?" Meng Zhan was not at all alarmed by this. Wu Yuhao came to the world of gods and demons just to kill him. If you don't kill him, why don't you keep him there overnight? After waving Wu Yuhao's body and throwing it aside, Meng Zhan's eyes fell on Tao Anwu and said, "You went to another world and forgot your roots? Or do you think that since you have become the original gods and demons, you feel that you can control the world of gods and demons at will?" Tao Anwu watched Meng Zhan kill Wu Yuhao and stayed for a moment. The hairs on his body stood up, and a chill filled his whole body, making him full of fear. He looked at Meng Zhan and swallowed. You dare to kill my senior brother? Do you dare to kill us? Do you know that there are countless powerful people in our heavenly sword divine sect, and the sect leader is a tribulation master? Tao Anwu shouted inwardly at Meng Zhan. However, Tao Anwu and others were very panicked. The woman who followed him did not panic. Instead, she opened her eyes wide and looked at Meng Zhan interestingly. After a moment, Bai Linglong looked at Meng Zhan. Zhan said, "Hey, your name is Meng Zhan, right? I heard them say before that you seem to have been practicing for more than 1,000,000,000 years. Are you now at the peak of the original realm of gods and demons? It's amazing. I have been practicing for almost 800 million years and have just reached the middle stage of the primitive realm of gods and demons." Meng Zhan looked at her and said after a moment, "Aren't you afraid, Bai. Linglong shook her head and said, "Why are you afraid? I don't know you, and I have nothing to do with these people, so what are you afraid of? Besides, you are very powerful, but I also have daddy's magical power protecting me, so I'll be fine." Menjian looked at her and said, "What is your identity? Who is your father?" Bai Linglong said, "Me, my name is Bai Linglong, and I come to the Bai family of the little heavenly king of the Xinwu heaven realm. My father is the little heavenly king Bai Xiaotian." Menjian looked at Bai Linglong with a strange look. Judging from the piercing eyes, this woman really didn't lie. She told him so straightforwardly. Where was the sword god sect that day? Bai Linglong curled her lips and murmured in a low voice, "I am a small force under the Bai family. Why don't you ask me where I live? Don't you ask me who is in my family?" Menjian narrowed his eyes. He did feel a bit of threat from Bai Linglong. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said anything nonsense. Take action? Or? Menjian stared at Bai Linglong for a moment and said, "Go aside, since you have come to the world of gods and demons, let's stay here from now on." Bai Linglong's eyes widened. "What do you want to do? If you want to mess around, my dad won't agree. At the very least, you have to come home with me and take a look, that's all." Bang! Menjian waved his hand, and a force pushed Bai Linglong aside. And with a thought, the power of the gods and demons emerged. Buzz! In an instant, Bai Linglong was moved away by him and imprisoned in the human emperor city. This woman is so stupid. Then, Menjian's eyes fell on Tao Anwu and others. He raised his hand and took Tao Anwu over, grabbing his head with one hand. Tao Anwu's whole body was filled with horror and his eyes were wide open. He shouted, "You want to search for souls? Stop. Once you search for souls, I will definitely die. My master is the elder of the heavenly sword section. Do you want to die?" Boom! Menjian directly searched for the soul, but this guy also had a restriction in his mind, which was the same as the one in Wu Yuhao's mind, so when he searched for the soul, Tao Anwu's head exploded like a hammered watermelon. It was probably from the sword god sect that day. In order to prevent the supernatural power of one sect from being leaked, right? Buzz! That ray of forbidden power wanted to attack Menjian, but it was once again calmed down by the human fairy court token in Menjian's mind. Menjian was not surprised that Tao Anwu's soul could not be searched. He waved his hand again. The old primitive god and demon of the Jinji family was taken into his hand, ready to search for the soul. The primitive god and demon of the Jinji family prayed in fear, "I am willing to be your servant of the gods, and fight. No, the emperor of the people, stay here, give me my life. Search for souls." Menjian's soul power searched the soul of this primitive god and demon without hesitation. Although this man also had a restriction in his mind, the restriction was not strong. Menjian's soul power easily suppressed the restriction. After searching for the soul, the strength in his hand shook. The original gods and demons of the Jinji family turned into blood mist, exploded and scattered on the ground. He closed his eyes slightly. Menjian eliminated most of this person's meaningless memories and mainly checked. In addition to the situation of the Jinji family, there are also the situations of several other ancient clans. In addition, there are matters related to the Xinwu heavenly realm. For hundreds of millions of years, the Jinji family has opened a passage to the divine world through a boundary stone. Over the past hundreds of millions of years, the Jinji family has owned 3 original gods and demons, including the person just now. However, they are all in the early stages of primitive gods and demons. Menjian thought for a moment. There was also the situation of the Taoan family and other families. He searched the souls of Tao Ji and others one by one to prevent him from missing any information or missing information. The other 3 families have the most primitive gods and demons. One is the Huayan family, with a total of 5. The Huadian family is also the one with the most stable foundation in the Shinwu heaven realm among several ancient families, because a genius from the Huadian family became the son-in-law of a family in a divine city in the Shinwu heaven realm. In the end, he successfully took over that family and became the head of the family. It can be said that the Huadian family is one with that family. This soft rice is very successful. Boom. The Emperor Dong used his divine power, and the endless divine fire burned out the remaining members of the Taoan family. In a moment, there were only 11 of them left in the entire hidden ancestral land of the Taoan family. Mengzhan looked forward, pointing his finger there with a slight tap in the void. One by one the formations were shattered, revealing one of the fist-sized diamond-shaped crystals, which exuded an extremely rich atmosphere of time and space. However, it was not the time and space of the gods and demons, but the time and space of the divine and martial world. Looking at this boundary stone, Mengzhan said to the Eastern Emperor, "You go and clean up the hidden ancestral land of the three Jinji families. I will go to the Shinwu heavenly realm. Don't worry, you're not looking for that group of people. Just go over there and break through." Buzz. Mengzhan waved his hand and opened up 3 gates of time and space, leading directly to the hidden ancestral land of the Jinji family and other 3 ancient clans. However, Emperor Dong and the others did not all go. Emperor Dong said, "Together, human emperor, destroy those. There are 3 hidden ancestral lands of ancient tribes. It should be enough for each person to go to one of them, and the rest will accompany you." Xiong Zhantian and the other 2 people went to an ancient tribe's hidden ancestral land respectively. Mengzhan nodded slightly, poured his divine power into the boundary stone, and opened up a time and space channel to the Shinwu heavenly realm. "Then let's go together." Whoosh whoosh. Mengzhan and Emperor Dong rushed into this passage one after another. It seemed like a long time had passed. And it seemed like it was just a blink of an eye. When Mengzhan and the others saw their vision widen, the place where they appeared was a valley in a barren mountain. A strong aura of gods and demons permeates the place, making the place look like it is surrounded by water mist. The peaks in the distance are looming, making it difficult to see clearly. This place is the other end of the passage. Those ancient tribes set up some formations here to hide this place. After looking around, Mengzhan walked in one direction and said, "Go this way. There is a big mountain range outside, stretching for billions of miles. I first find a suitable place to survive the tribulation." As soon as Emperor Dong and the others heard this, their hearts moved. 9 Tribulations Realm Gods and Demons. In the Inheritance of Kingland Soldiers, there is a description of the gods and demons in the 9 Tribulations realm. The 9 Tribulations gods and demons can also be called the 9 Tribulations of gods and demons. Anyone who survives a calamity can be called a calamity master. Now it seems that their human emperor is about to break through the first tribulation of the 9 Tribulations of gods and demons. This breakthrough speed, it's too fast. It is more than 1 billion miles away from the valley. Mengzhan found an inconspicuous sacred mountain and sat down cross-legged on the top of the mountain, while Emperor Dong and others were waiting in the distance and began to warn all directions. "Call." Mengzhan took a deep breath, and lines of words appeared in front of his eyes. Cultivation level, peak of the original God and Demon realm, 68.8 billion God and Demon points. Rightward arrow. 9 Tribulations of gods and demons. God and Demon points, 364.17 billion. Improvement. Mengzhan thought, these two. The wording changed instantly. Cultivation level, 9 Tribulation realm gods and demons. Early stage, 137.6 billion gods and demons points. Rightward arrow. Middle stage. Gods and demons points, 295.37 billion. Boom. In Mengzhan's body, the divine realm seemed to explode in an instant, and the space was annihilated. Only the wisp of the original seed of the world remained standing still. A trace of tribulation power burst out from Mengzhan. In an instant, Mengzhan's body changed. But when Mengjian's body was undergoing a transformation, and something was going wrong in the divine realm, the world outside turned dark for an instant. Dark clouds are gathering. A breath of great calamity instantly shook the gods and demons of hundreds of divine cities in the surrounding area. Whoosh whoosh. Countless gods and demons rushed out in shock and stood in the void, looking at the mountain range from a distance. The aura of the catastrophe that was so terrifying that it made their scalps numb gathered together, and a dark cloud came to the top, covering the land hundreds of billions of miles in radius. Such a terrifying scope of tribulation left many gods and demons dumbfounded. Their bodies were shivering instinctively, their minds were shaking, and the sound of gasping for air could be heard one after another. Hiss. This, which great tribulation master is this? Some gods and demons said in fear. Not long after, gods and demons in the 9 tribulations realm also appeared, looking solemnly in the direction of Mengjian's tribulation. After guarding the abyss for 1 billion years, when he returned, his family became a criminal clan. Author, Top 47. Chapter 81. I made a mistake. The 9 tribulations of gods and demons are not the early and middle stages, but the 9 tribulations and 9 realms. So the cultivation level is, 9 tribulations of gods and demons, 1 tribulation, 137.6 billion gods and demons. Points rightward arrow. 2 tribulations. Who is going through the tribulation? The calamity cloud stretches for hundreds of billions of miles, and the aura of the great calamity is so terrifying. It looks 100 times more terrifying than the 3 calamity clouds I had before. But this breath is very strange, and why do I look like I have just broken through the 9 tribulations god and demon realm? One after another, the gods and demons of the 9 tribulations were born. They looked at the terrifying calamity clouds in the sky, their faces solemn, and looking at the center of the calamity clouds, their brows knitted together again, and they murmured in their hearts. Who is this? Distance. Mengjian was about tens of billions of miles away from the heavenly sword sect. Lu Xun had already reported to Qian Angsu, the elder of the heavenly sword sect, about Bai Linglong and his disciple Wu Yuhao. The entire heavenly sword sect was immediately alarmed. The heavenly sword divine sects only 9 tribulation realm gods and demons. The first tribulation master, the heavenly sword tribulation master, has also left seclusion. What happened? How could Bai Linglong go to an ordinary world? The Lord of Heavenly Sword Tribulation came out of seclusion and scolded Qian Angsu, Lu Xun, and others. Qian Angsu's face turned pale, and he quickly lowered his head and said, Sect Master, the most important thing now is to go to the world of gods and demons and save the Bai family. The princess must be rescued, otherwise. The Lord of Heavenly Sword Tribulation snorted coldly. Qian Angsu and Lu Xun both made a puff sound, and a mouthful of blood spurted out. Qian Angsu and Lu Xun hurriedly knelt down and begged for mercy. Sect Master, please spare your life. The Tianjian Tribulation Master's eyes flashed sharply and said, Bai Linglong is the little princess of the Bai family and the daughter of the little king. With the exotic treasure protecting you, everything will be fine. However, a native from the ordinary world dares to bully our heavenly sword divine sect. Really looking for death? The Lord of Heavenly Sword Tribulation shouted sternly, and asked Qian Angsu and Lu Xun to lead the way to find the passage to the world of gods and demons to rescue Bai Linglong. As for Wu Yuhao and Tao An Wu, these 2 young disciples, the Lord of Heavenly Sword Tribulation did not take them seriously. It's just that they just walked out of the Tianjian Shen sect and haven't found the Taoan family yet. In the distance, a terrifying aura of catastrophe burst into the sky, and in an instant, it swept hundreds of billions of miles around. Looking at this, the terrifying calamity cloud appeared. Not only did Qian Angsu and Lu Xun's expressions change drastically, but the expression of the heavenly sword tribulation master also changed. After looking up at the calamity cloud, he looked towards the direction of the calamity aura rising into the sky. Overcoming the tribulation. This breath seems to be just the first calamity. The heavenly sword tribulation lord's eyes were shocked. The aura of such a great calamity has made him feel scared now, let alone trying to overcome the calamity. However, such a great calamity is only the first calamity for others to break through the 9 calamities of gods and demons. Heaven. A look of jealousy flashed in the eyes of the sword tribulation master, his fists were slightly clenched, he looked in the direction where Mengjian was crossing the tribulation, and murmured, "Who is this who is crossing the tribulation? The aura is so terrifying. I wonder if it is the genius who came out of some big force?" He hesitated for a while. The Lord of Heavenly Sword Tribulation planned to wait for the catastrophe to pass before going over to have a look. If that person succeeded in overcoming the tribulation, then he would try to see if he could get to know him. Get acquainted. The aura of the Great Tribulation soared into the sky, and the shock caused had attracted the attention of many 9 tribulations gods and demons as well as gods and demons. However, Mengjian, who was at the center of the catastrophe, no longer had the heart to care about this. Stab. When the calamity cloud completely enveloped the world and the outside world couldn't see through it, the endless power of the calamity tore everything apart in an instant. Standing in the center of the calamity, Mengjian only felt that his body was being filled with one kind of terror after another. The power tore apart, annihilated, and then recondensed and reborn. This feeling is not very good. Buzz. Just at this time of tribulation, a little accident appeared from his divine domain. The divine domain that was collapsing and reshaping, in the power of this great catastrophe under the shaping of the world, it actually merged with the world's origin seed bit by bit. Mengjian originally only refined and controlled this world's origin seed. But now, he has complete control. In other words, he can also control the world of gods and demons. Take complete control and become the master of the world of gods and demons. Boom. The moment Mengjian used the power of the Great Tribulation to fuse the original seeds of the world, his divine realm underwent a huge change. Endless power surged in it. Thick divine chains suppressed the sky, and through the vast space of heaven and earth, at this moment, it seemed that he was connected to the world of gods and demons. A divine domain is a world. And when the catastrophe dissipated, Mengjian's power also completely transformed. The original divine power was gone, replaced by a force with catastrophe. The divine power of breath. This divine power is quite miraculous. The most obvious point is that the power of the Great Tribulation is very domineering. It is much more destructive than the original divine power. The divine domain has been reshaped. But now the divine domain of Mengjian is completely different from before. It is different. It is connected to the world of gods and demons, as if it exists in one world. Mengjian broke through the gods and demons in the 9 tribulation realm, and condensed the Great Tribulation seed. It originally fell in the gods realm, but at this moment, the Great Tribulation seed passed through the gods realm, but it fell on the origin of the world of gods and demons. The fall of this great calamity seed made Mengjian aware that the world of gods and demons began to change. The clouds of calamity dispersed. Mengjian stood up, and the sacred mountain he was originally under it has completely disappeared, and even hundreds of millions of miles around it have been completely destroyed. If such a catastrophe falls on the world of gods and demons, it will probably be a threat to the world of gods and demons. Because compared to the world of gods, the world of gods and demons is not stronger. No, I must be able to bear it. Swish swish. As soon as Emperor Dong and the others rushed over, they were slightly relieved when they saw that Mengjian was not injured. When they noticed the terrifying catastrophe aura on Mengjian, their faces all showed expressions of surprise. Human Emperor. Congratulations to the Emperor for successfully breaking through the 9 tribulations of gods and demons. East Emperor Yi and the others said happily. In this divine martial world, just call me the soldier master. There are not many human forces here. Mengjian waved his hand and said, looking outside the mountain. He could sense that many nine tribulations gods and demons were coming. Originally, Meng Zhan planned to return to the gods and demons after overcoming the tribulation. But in this situation, he can only if you can stand here and wait, let's deal with these people first. Whoosh! One after another, the nine tribulation gods and demons came quickly and appeared in front of Meng Zhan. They looked at Meng Zhan and the Eastern Emperor behind Meng Zhan. A trace of surprise flashed across the eyes of the 17 people, except for the reason that Meng Zhan and their auras of life were all young. After a billion years, they were considered young in the primitive realm of gods and demons. But these people in front of them. One has obviously reached the nine tribulations gods and demons realm. The other is also at the peak of the original gods and demons realm. And the aura is very powerful. Congratulations on your successful escape. A decrepit old man came forward and came to Meng Zhan. With a smile on his face, he raised his hands and congratulated, I am the Lord of Jianguan City, Qian Yunlong. The aura on this man's body is still that of a master of three tribulations. But Qian Yunlong's posture in front of Meng Zhan was not commanded by his qi, and he was aloof. The terrifying cloud of tribulation that enveloped hundreds of billions of miles before was not most people can survive it. Even Qian Yunlong was frightened and shocked when he faced that catastrophe. But the person in front of him was able to survive it easily. What does this mean? It means that this person who has just passed through the nine tribulations of gods and demons is the first person to survive. The calamity master of one calamity is probably stronger than Qian Yunlong, the calamity master of three calamities. How could Lord Yunlong be so polite? The other tribulation masters are all surprised. At this moment, there are many tribulation masters gathered here to see Meng Zhan crossing the tribulation. There are more than 30 of them, and they are all familiar with each other. Meng Zhan and Dong Emperor, etc. They didn't know any of them. Meng Zhan handed over his hand and said calmly, I'm Meng Zhan, Senior, you're too polite. I just survived a disaster by luck. It's far worse than Senior. Also, I am here for the first time, so please forgive me if my journey through the tribulation has disturbed the seniors. Meng Zhan said as he cupped his hands towards the other tribulation masters. Ha ha ha, I see that you are not a stingy person, so I would like to ask you to be more generous. How about calling me Brother Meng? Little brother, don't call me Senior, I can't afford it, just call me Yunlong. Qian Yunlong immediately touched his hands and said with a smile. If you don't mind, I invite you, little brothers, and all of you to go to Jianguan City to get together. Drinking and chatting is another beautiful thing. Qian Yunlong looked at the other tribulation masters. If Brother Yunlong invites you, you will naturally not refuse. The other robbery masters all nodded when they heard this. They came here just to get to know Meng Zhan, so naturally they would not miss this opportunity. Okay, thank you City Master Yunlong for the invitation. Meng Zhan thought for a moment and nodded in agreement. However, at this time, Meng Zhan looked in one direction and said, however, I still have some personal grudges to deal with. I wonder if you seniors can wait a moment. Personal matters. Qian Yunlong and others were startled. Aren't they new to this place? Why do they still have personal grudges? But since Meng Zhan has said so, Qian Yunlong and others will naturally not question it. It's okay, little brother has something to take care of, so we can just wait. Qian Yunlong said, and the other tribulation masters also nodded slightly. As soon as Meng Zhan signaled to Emperor Dong and the others, they all flew into the sky towards the outside of the mountain. Over there, the tribulation masters of Tianjian were bringing Qian Angsu and Luzun. Luzun was quite happy at first. After all, he was going to get to know the powerful master who had overcome the tribulation. Maybe he could also benefit from it and become familiar with that senior. But when Luzun was kidnapped by the heavenly sword, when he saw Meng Zhan, Emperor Dong, and others, his expression suddenly changed. Luzun exclaimed, Sect Master. It's them, It's them, little princess Bai Ling Long, my apprentice, and others fell into their hands. Lu Xun pointed at Meng Zhan and others, with murderous intent in his eyes. After all, his disciple died in the hands of Meng Zhan and others. How could he not avenge this revenge? However, the face of the master of heavenly sword tribulation at this moment changed. After a change, the Meng Zhan and others Lu Xun pointed at were obviously the people he felt had just passed through the tribulation and became gods and demons in the 9 tribulation realm. But he never expected that this person would be the ordinary person he was looking for. The world's indigenous ants. This person has just survived the tribulation and became the 9 tribulations god and demon realm. He actually brought people to the divine martial heaven realm. And as soon as he came, he successfully overcame the tribulation. The Lord of Heavenly Sword tribulation was frightened. He stopped, frowned, and looked at Meng Zhan and others who had arrived not far away. He hesitated. The Lord of Heavenly Sword tribulation was about to hand over his hand and plan to make peace with Meng Zhan. Just let Meng Zhan release Bai Ling Long. But when Meng Zhan comes, boom! Without saying a word, a halberd appeared in his hand. As soon as he moved, a real dragon rose up across the sky, roared in the sky, and slashed at his heavenly sword tribulation lord.